coming from Paisley. What a match that could be as well. It's St Mirren against Aberdeen. All the action with Willie Miller, Stephen Thompson and Liam McLeod.
And what a magnificent opportunity this is for St Mirren to go outright top of the Premiership. Yes, it would just be after 3 matches. But what a superb place to be in for Stephen Robinson's men. Currently sit 4th with that game in hand. And if they do win this, they'd be 2 points clear at the top of the Premiership. What an achievement, even this early in season 23-24. Up against an Aberdeen team that's only won 1 of their last 8 games here in Paisley. Indeed, their record since St Mirren moved into this stadium back in 2008 is pretty poor. They've played 21 previous times inside this stadium. They've only won 6 of them. It's been a problematic venue for the Dons, who are going to kick this game off. St Mirren line up Hemming in goal, Fraser, Gogic, Taylor, Strain and Tanzer, Bacchus, Boyd, Muntz, McMenamin, Kilty, Olasanya, Aberdeen with Roos in goal, Rubitic, McDonald, McKenzie, Devlin Hayes, Shinnie, Clarkson, Polvara, Mijovski and Duke. And those are the starting lineups for this one. Aberdeen toiled away from home last season. What can they do here? A really pleasant day in Paisley as Clarkson rolls it all the way back to his goalkeeper from centre. And Kellaroos with a long right foot ball. Aberdeen all in red with the gold flashes. St Mirren in their black and white stripes. And the Dons going right to left as we watch them up back at the top of the main stand. And it will be Saints shooting towards the north stand where the Aberdeen supporters are housed. It's an Aberdeen throw-in down on this near side, midway inside St Mirren territory. It's bowled back to Angus MacDonald, who makes his first start of the season, having extended his stay by a couple of years after initially signing that short-term deal last term. As Roos goes long, but it comes all the way through to his opposite number, Zach Hemming. It really has been an impressive start to the campaign by St Mirren when you consider their first game of the season was defeat at Links Park to Montrose in the League Cup. Stephen Thompson.
It has been. It's been absolutely sensational, and I think their success, has been built on the foundation of hard work and organisation. They've got quality players as well. The signings they've been brought in the summer have been good as well.
Strain finds McMenamin. In comes the first cross of the match into the Aberdeen box, and it's poor with the left foot, and it sails behind on the other side of the goal for a goal kick.
Yeah, I have to say, Willie, I'm a fan of this Aberdeen strip. Are you?
A little bit uncertain.
He's a traditionalist.
Yeah, pretty much.
You prefer white instead of gold.
You lifted a European trophy in red and white.
I quite like it.
Yeah, I can understand from you know, someone as fashion conscious as you that you would like it, but I'm a traditionalist, so I prefer white.
Okay, right, okay.
Kellaroos is all in yellow as he boots the ball forward from the goal kick. It's not a great delivery. It comes bouncing back off McMenamin, breaks to Slobodan Rubic over on the far side, to Devlin on the touchline, long with the right foot. Mijovski will give chase. Gogic will cover across. He passes it short to Taylor into the midfield for Kilty, and then it's back with Gogic, and it's a long right foot ball forward, looking for Olasanya. We'll be keeping a close eye on Olasanya. He wins it back in the far side. He's very quick, as Stephen Robinson was saying. He's managed a couple of goals this season, including their second at Easter Road on the opening day of the league campaign. A 3-2 victory. Alex Greaves scoring late on as Rubic level the edge of the centre circle, goes back to McDonald, and it does look like it's the 3 at the back, Willie.
Yeah, the early stages it certainly looks that way.
You must have been seeing things, Willie, in the warm-up.
No, I wasn't seeing things. I explained exactly what I did see, but as you rightly pointed out, I think it was a ploy.
Okay.
And they were maybe just practicing their headers, but it looks as though it's the 3 at the back.
They might well move into that shape at some point today, depending on how the game goes, as comes off the head of Devlin and out for a throw. And what a fine goal Nicky Devlin scored the other night in Gothenburg against Häcken. Aberdeen 2-0 down and seemingly struggling. Barry Robson made the changes and they had the desired impact as they came roaring back to 2-2 with the second leg at Pittodrie to come on Thursday, live on BBC Scotland radio and television. A busy European week. Taylor loses out on the far side. John Beaton says he was fouled. Free kick to Saints, just perhaps inside the Aberdeen half, over on the St Mirren left.
Yeah, it was just Mijovski kicking through the back of his calf to get the ball. I think it was a clear foul. John Beaton didn't hesitate to blow his whistle.
Aberdeen only won 5 times away from home in the league last season. It's 7 in the last 40 away games that they've only managed to win. So going away from Pittodrie has been a serious issue. Their record at home was excellent last season. They lost a handful of games, mostly to the likes of Celtic. As Jack McKenzie takes a throw-in level with his 18-yard line on this near side. They've got the new Finnish centre-back, Richard Jensen, on the bench. Still no sign of Rhys Williams, who arrived on loan from Liverpool, as McKenzie shifts it to Clarkson, who did arrive on loan from Liverpool last season and now a permanent fixture at Aberdeen, as he finds Rubičić, and now it's with Polvara, the American, with the long right foot raking ball forward, looking for Duke. Gogic slices it into touch for an Aberdeen throw-in level at the edge of the D of the St Mirren box over on that far side. On the side of the stadium that was the old North Bank when Saints played at Love Street. It comes to Polvara, and then back to the right of the centre circle, Clarkson into it for McKenzie as he rolls it out to Hayes on this near side. There was a real purpose about Aberdeen in the last half hour of the game in Sweden the other night, and that is the kind of level that Barry Robson will be looking for 90 minutes today, Willie.
It will be, you know, and it was impressive, the changes that were made, suited the team, getting players into positions that they're more comfortable with, you know, particularly in the wing-back areas, getting, you know, proper wing-backs in there that can do both jobs, both go forward and defend.
Long ball from Rubičić into the St Mirren box, headed away by Marcus Fraser, and it's dinked back the way by Keelan Boyd-Muntz. Scored that fabulous goal against Motherwell in the Cup last week, and St Mirren have played it nicely out to this near side for Ryan Strain. It's a long right foot ball forward for Olusanya to chase. McDonald's a covering Aberdeen player, he gets there first and just hoists it out for a throw-in on this near side to Saints, about level with the Aberdeen 6-yard line. No early goals thus far here in Paisley, 5.5 goalless minutes in, and it remains goalless at Dens, where Dundee are hosting Hearts. We'll go to Stephen Craigan whenever something happens there. St Mirren come forward on the right-hand side. Backus, a really good ball into the box. There's no real purchase in the header from Kiltie, and it's an easy take for Kellaroos, who holds on inside his 6-yard box. But that's the first real good attacking piece of play in the match inside a penalty area, and it was St Mirren who were threatening, Tomo.
Yeah, it was. Backus taking the ball from the throw-in, turns inside, gets to the byline, clips it up. Kiltie's not the biggest, but he rose really, really well, but he just couldn't get enough purchase on his header, and it's going to go wide of the post anyway. But the initial throw-in came from the type of ball that Stephen Robinson was talking about before the game, a channel ball for Olusanya to go and chase and try and exploit, and that is a ball that we're going to see all afternoon behind the wing-backs of Aberdeen.
But from the throw-in, it was poor defending from Aberdeen to, you know, to allow the cross to come in, and for me, I think Kiltie should do much better.
Hayes goes long, Miovski gives chase, Gogic is there, he nods it back to his goalkeeper. We might see Alex Gogic in Cyprus colours up against Scotland, and it'll be a week on Friday, won't it, the next Euro 2024 qualifier. The first international break of the season as Hayes wins a throw-in for Aberdeen over on this near side. Tomo, St Mirren looking for a third successive win at the start of the league season. They haven't managed 3 successive wins at the start of a top-flight season since 1948.
Have you while then? What are you trying to say?
That just shows you the run they're on right now. They've done it in lower league, in the Championship and First Division as it was.
Yeah, I would also put them top of the league. So yeah, I mean, I'm not going to jump the gun, but it would be a sensational start to the season. But as Stephen Robinson said in his pre-match, it's early days.
They won 5 of their first 6 of that campaign as Backus picks up in the midfield. Fouled by Shinnie, at least that's what he thought. I think the referee was going to blow, but St Mirren retained the ball anyway. It's played forward, Kiltie, and then Boyd-Muntz out to that left-hand side for Scott Tanser. Back to Boyd-Muntz, the Northern Irishman from Belfast, out to the left-hand side, rolled down the line, but Tanser can't keep it in play, and it goes out for an Aberdeen throw-in, which Rubičić will take. St Mirren have started the brighter. You would expect that, they're the home team, and they've been excellent here by and large over the last 12 months, maybe even longer.
Yeah, they have started well. I mean, Aberdeen seem to be going really quite direct, long a lot of the time, trying to use maybe Duke's pace, but St Mirren's back three have just been lapping up all the long balls that have been thrown up there.
I think both teams have been doing that though, Stephen.
Yeah,
you know, it's kind of a back to front early doors in this game.
Olasanya inside the centre circle, fouled by Clarkson. St Mirren free kick. Olasanya takes it quickly, rolling it to the right-hand side for Strain. It's a real sign of intent. Strain looking to return it to Olasanya. He does get there, he goes down. Johnny Hayes was the covering Aberdeen player as it goes behind for the goal kick. Well, you could see what Olasanya's trying to do there. He's desperately trying to get between the man and the ball. If he's not going to keep it in, he's going to try and win a penalty.
Well, he gets there first, and there's 100% contact. He ends up in the billboards behind the touchline. I wonder if this will go to VAR for a wee VAR check. John Beaton had a good look at it before he made his mind up.
I didn't see it myself in terms of being a penalty. I think there was contact, but it was, you know, two players going for the ball. I think it was body, shoulder contact. Olasanya went down. He seemed to slide into the billboards at the back of the touchline there, but nah, it's not getting checked, and I didn't see it being a penalty, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, there's no official stoppage in play, so no penalty. Ewan Anderson's the VAR today for this one.
Come on, Ewan.
Long ball from Roos out to the right-hand side, breaks into the midfield. Clarkson with the cushion header forward to Shinnie, out to the left-hand side for Hayes. Look to return it to Shinnie, but he's given it away to Bacchus, who gets it back there from his countryman Strain down this near side. McMenamin, the challenge from Clarkson. That goes out of play for a throw into Aberdeen. On this near side, says the main stand side assistant Douglas Ross. And it's an Aberdeen throw in which Jack McKenzie will take. Aberdeen yet to really settle in the match. It remains 0-0. We played 10 minutes. McKenzie over. It's still 0-0 Dundee Hearts at Dens. Here's Duke. Switching the play. He's done it well. Looking for Devlin, but the bouncing ball favoured Tanser. Devlin then fouls Tanser, I think, and that'll be a free kick to St Mirren. If it's not a free kick, it'll be a throw into St Mirren over on the far side.
Looked like a free kick.
Yeah, he's giving a free kick.
Yeah. I thought Devlin, he just didn't read the curl of the ball in that case. It was a sensational crossfield pass from Duke, must admit, and Devlin should have been onto it much quicker, you know, in attacking Tanser rather than allowing the initiative to be had by the St Mirren player.
Trying to play for a throw-in on the near side though for Aberdeen. On the opposite side, Saints couldn't make anything of it over there. Jack McKenzie will take this one as well as he bowls it in to Shinnie. Back to McKenzie. Long ball McKenzie, but it's easy for Taylor, at least it should have been. He's given it straight to Dante Polvara in the centre circle. Now it's out wide right for Devlin. Devlin taking it down the right-hand side, looking for space to cross, plays it off the defender, and Tanser's done really well. Not once but twice against Devlin, cut out the cross, then won it back when it ricocheted between them. As Shinnie rolls it back into his own half for Rubidzic. It's now in the midfield. Polvara midway inside the St Mirren half. Right foot low ball along the grass to Hayes on the near side. Showed way too much of it to Strain, who wins the throw-in off Johnny Hayes. He looks a little bit off the pace. He has been out, of course. He was injured. I think it was that opening game against Livingston. He picked up the injuries. Been on the bench as an unused sub since then. But that was a really heavy touch, really poor from Hayes, which was most unlike him. A throw-in to be taken here by the Saints skipper Marcus Fraser. And the continued absence of Mark O'Hara. It is Strain nicking it off Hayes, out for a throw-in to Saints. A bit scrappy down there at the moment. This will be about midway inside their own half here for St Mirren on the main stand side. Strain leaves the ball for Fraser to take.
Yeah, there's not been a great deal of good football played so far. It's been quite frantic, a lot of turnovers of possession. St Mirren probably just shading it. Certainly had the best opportunity so far.
Olasanya does well, strong, wins the free kick as he's brought down by McKenzie. Strain happy to take his time over this one. He had some pretty unsettling moments in Gothenburg on Thursday night. The Jack McKenzie, of course, gave away the penalty. It was a pretty harsh one, you would have to say. I suppose the handball rule nowadays is such an easily punishable offence. St Mirren prepared to take this free kick on this near side. Strain with the right foot into the Aberdeen box. It comes. It's won by St Mirren heads over the crossbar. That will be a goal kick. It's Richard Taylor who threw himself at it. He couldn't keep the header down, and it stays St Mirren 0, Aberdeen 0 here in Paisley after 13 minutes, and it remains goalless between Dundee and Hearts.
It does, and you know, we're hoping that some football is going to break out at some point in this game. I think it is way too frantic. You know, I think the players, both sets of players, are taking the easy option, just by playing the ball long. That might be a tactic that Stephen Robinson wants to employ, you know, to get it in behind the Aberdeen back three. And of course Aberdeen with Duke and the pace that he's got as well seem to like that long ball too, but I'm not enjoying it too much so far.
No, it's not been
Terrible game so far.
It's not been great viewing. It's Nicky Devlin just landed awkwardly in that challenge with Scott Tanser there clutching his back. Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, he was delighted, especially delighted with his goal the other night because of the mistake that helped cost them the game against Celtic a couple of weekends back. It was the header back towards his own goal. He didn't realise Kyogo Furuhashi was behind them. And Aberdeen had got themselves back in level terms in that game at that point before Devlin's brainstorm.
It's a good signing from Aberdeen though, because of his versatility as well. You know, if you've got an injury in the back four, he could step in. You know, as today he's playing right back, more suited probably to centre half as well. But
great play by Bacchus outside of the boot, finds Olasanya right hand side of the box, leaves it back to Strain. Strain looking for space, chops it onto the left side, but still with the right foot. It's a poor cross. Polvara gets it away, and now it's with Miovski, but it's in back well by Fraser. He read the danger and helped out his middlemen, and puts it back to his goalkeeper. And it's long from Zach Hemming. McDonald with a challenge and Olasanya. Both go down, no free kick. It's cleared by Aberdeen. Duke chasing, but Tanser's there to prod it back to his keeper. It's with Hemming now. See, St Mirren are probably the team trying to play the football right now. As Hemming goes long out to this near side, Olasanya jumps a little bit too early, comes off McKenzie, breaks back to Olasanya here from Kiltie. Kiltie on the overlap, McKenzie with a sliding challenge, puts it out for the throw-in to Saints on this near side, a bit level with the Aberdeen penalty spot. This goalless game at St Mirren Park. Almost on 16, strange cross ball, comes off Clarkson, onto the chest of Tanser. Kiltie holding off his man, but it's just nicked away from him at the last, but it does break to Strain, who dinks the ball into the 6-yard area, but it's an easy take for Keller-Roos. He thought there was somebody towards the back post as Aberdeen give it away. Here's Taylor now down the left-hand side, taking on his man. Duke gets between the man and the ball. He's trying to see it behind, he hasn't managed that. Taylor wins the corner. Brilliant play from the centre-back.
it was, I mean, you weren't expecting it. He does this step over and drives between two Aberdeen players. Duke gets back. I think Duke was looking for a foul, as were the Aberdeen supporters behind the goal, but really good play from Richard Taylor, winning St Mirren a corner kick.
It was dreadful from Roos though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A throw out, he's trying to pick Duke out, it's intercepted. Wonderful work from the St Mirren centre back though.
Saints corner, Saints chance, in from Strain, headed away by Duke. Will be picked up on this right hand side by McMenamin. On the left foot, bends another ball in on top of the Aberdeen keeper, who doesn't get there, but the whistle goes.
Standard.
Yeah, it kind of bounced off him, and listen to the big number 9 to my left, who's having a go at the goalkeeper union there.
You just touch a goalkeeper, it's a foul. Although what I would say that one did look a foul, but in general, if you jump at a goalie, it's curtains. That's it, the goalie's getting the foul.
But that one was a foul.
Aye, I'll give you that.
Okay.
I'll give you that.
Keller-Roos will take the goal, or the free kick for Aberdeen, as good as a goal kick. And the Dutchman with the right foot will launch this one forward. Across the halfway, drops down towards Polvara, who heads on. Gogic is there. He gets it clear. Into Taylor. Now to the left for Tanser. St Mirren getting into their stride here. Low ball forward to Kiltie. He's got Olasanya McMenamin ahead of him. Down the left-hand side. He's got the overlapping Scott Tanser. He's got his cross ball in as well. Flicked away off the 6-yard line by Aberdeen, just as it looked as though it might drop to Olasanya. Here's Fraser. Couldn't find McMenamin, and Jack McKenzie clears, but gives it straight back to Fraser. Here's Strain. Strain right-footed into the box. Olasanya goes after it, and Angus MacDonald left it. And Greg Kiltie's left, beating the pitch in frustration behind the goal, because if he gets any touch, he probably puts St Mirren ahead. Angus MacDonald gets away with one big time. It stays nothing each in Paisley.
Yeah, but was it a shout? It looked as though Angus MacDonald was going to take control of the situation there. He did have a little look over his shoulder. I think perhaps he got a shout from Roos to ask him to leave it, but Kiltie, I think he just has to time that and just has to get a bit of his head on it, and it ends up in the back of the net.
I think he was surprised to see it kind of going through to him, but he must have only been an inch away from it. Any type of contact, and it's 1-0 St Mirren.
Some Aberdeen subs going to warm up. Jamie McGrath, one of them, formerly of this parish.
Good player.
Yeah, he scored 17 goals, and he was threatening one of your goal-scoring seasons here at one point. Did he eclipse it? Did you manage 18?
Yes, no, 16
was your best one, was it?
Yes, thanks, Liam.
The midfielder topped that, did they?
Yeah, it's 16 in the more penalties, Liam.
Sports sound here on BBC Radio Scotland as Kelleroos with the right foot ball. Forward, it comes off the head of Strain. Nods it forward to McMenamin. And then clips it in field for Bacchus. Under pressure from Shinnie, goes back to Hemming, who boots it forward with the right foot. Rubic, the little bump on Kilty. The Saints fans not happy with it. John Beaton was. As Olasanya holds off McDonald. He's done well. He's playing well. Getting a chance in the team ahead of Mikael Mandron today. Up front for Saints as Tanzer goes down that left-hand side, taking on Devlin. Chopping in field, and then he overhits the pass to the outside of the boot for Kilty. And behind for the goal kick. It's St Mirren 0, Aberdeen 0, almost in 20 minutes here. 0-0 at Dens remains. Dundee against Hearts, and Willie Miller. There only appears to be one team wanting to play football out there at the moment.
Yeah, Aberdeen haven't started. You know, they haven't really made an effort, I don't think, to build it up from the back. It's been very much just direct football.
I've not been impressed with Aberdeen at all.
Yeah,
here,
no,
Willie.
they haven't started. Stephen, I totally agree with you. They need to try and get the ball down and make some passes. Defensively, they look a lot bit out of shape as well. You know, I think McDonald just being back in the team, and I was expecting him to play to the right-hand side and Rubic to be central, but it's Rubic that's to the right, and not being particularly impressive so far in the game.
McMenamin, it's a heavy touch, but he makes it work. Pushes it back to Gogic, out to the right for Strain. He sweeps it back to Alex Gogic into the centre circle. Now it's with Boyd Muntz, long with the left foot, out to the far side for Tanzer. Controls and passes it infield for Kilty. Back to Taylor and infield to Boyd Muntz. And then back to Richard Taylor. St Mirren can go top of the table, 2 points clear with a win. They're playing like a team that knows that that's the prize. Out to the left, Tanzer bends the ball in. It almost fell to Bacchus. It does break back to Strain, who shoots blocked. There'll be an offside here, surely. Bacchus turns it home, and the flag does go up. He was clearly in an offside position when the shot from Strain was hit initially, because he was up there attacking, having missed the opportunity just before then. He's having a go at John Beaton, but if he is onside, the VAR will clearly overrule it.
He looked off, I have to say, but St Mirren are causing Aberdeen a lot of problems with cross balls. I said it before the game, it's one of St Mirren's biggest weapons. Bacchus arriving late into the box there.
They are checking it. There is an official check.
He looked
going
a
on
mile off. He looked a mile off.
Certainly what I thought. He stuck it in the net. We're just checking to see. Yeah, no goal.
Yeah.
And Bacchus is still having a go, but what's the point? I mean, you know, that is the one thing that VAR gets spot on, really, isn't it? The offsides.
Yeah, there's no discussion with the offsides.
You actually didn't need VAR
no,
for
you
that
didn't.
one.
You didn't. You didn't.
It is Kelleroos with the right foot, long ball forward. Remains 0-0 then here, as it does in Dundee. The header from Taylor into the midfield. Shinnie's header back towards the St Mirren box. There's Clarkson. He's a footballer. If we can get him on the ball, maybe a different kind of game for Aberdeen, but the Dons have been desperate so far.
They've had no control in the middle of the park. I mean, I can't think Shinnie and Clarkson have really been on the ball at all.
Polvara from Clarkson on the right. Polvara's cross takes a deflection, headed away. Breaks to the edge of the box. Hayes up into the air, misjudged by Bacchus. St Mirren have worked it out again. Here's Strain on the near side, challenged by Polvara, and out it goes for a St Mirren throw-in on this near side.
It's just all too fast, isn't it? Aberdeen are chasing everything down, but see, when you've got that kind of a mental approach there, it's really difficult, I think, once you get possession, to actually calm yourself down. Aberdeen don't seem to be able to calm themselves down to get any control of the ball. Leighton Clarkson is a very, very fine midfield player, and he's been non-existent so far this afternoon.
He's just not getting on the ball. It's how to play for a throw-in. St Mirren have it in Aberdeen territory again, midway inside it. Strain with the throw. He's been a fabulous player for St Mirren. They'll be
really good, Liam.
They'll be hoping that he's still here this time next weekend, because that means he'll be here at least until January.
Yeah, I'd imagine there'll be a few clubs looking at him. He's been really good.
Bacchus gets the headlines because he was at the World Cup last year and he played at the World Cup, but Strain has been outstanding for Saints. Marcus Fraser was the right back before. He's had to play in that back three since his arrival. He's been that impressive. Had a quarter of this. And we await the breakthrough. Strain gets the ball into the Aberdeen box. It's away. Hayes helps it on its way to this near side, and Marcus Fraser tackles the advertising hoarding, and his foot stuck. Oh dear. He's okay now, he's got it out. That could have been even more embarrassing if he's not able to get his foot out. He was stuck between the actual advert and the concrete wall behind it.
Oh dear.
As Boyd Muntz for St Mirren rolls it forward, Rubezic with a challenge. It's a foul though on Kiltie. And St Mirren have a free kick. The problem is Aberdeen are playing a long ball game, but the problem is the long balls are all coming back at them immediately.
Well, they're not favourites to win them against Taylor and Gogic, that's the reason.
And this near side, McMenamin up against Hayes. Sells him the dummy, gets the cross, it's blocked. Bouncing ball, Shinnie prevents the corner, flicking it over his head. Looking for Duke on this near side. Duke does get the header onto it, but only for Marcus Fraser's benefit, as Mijovski slides in, does really well. He's having to come all the way back into his own half to get a piece of the action. Clarkson, lovely touch away from his man. He gets a break of the ball through the legs of Boyd Muntz. Clarkson driving up to halfway for Aberdeen. Knocks it forward, but even he can't find a teammate for the pass. The whole Aberdeen team is toiling.
It's became infectious, hasn't it? Poor passes forward. I thought that Clarkson was going to show his quality in that occasion, but eventually just a poor pass forward after some excellent work. But no, it's been a difficult one for Aberdeen. I think St Mirren have tracked them down, not given them any room. But I think, you know, they're masters of their own downfall. The Dons are not trying to build it up from the back. Everything seems to be launched long. And Stephen's right. You know, you've got Mijovski and Duke. I don't think they're going to be your main target men up there for aerial bombardment.
They've not got that type of player. I mean, if you're going to be playing the ball over the top of the centre halves,
McKenzie, foul on. I think it was McMenamin, down on this near side. A really poor challenge from Jack McKenzie.
I mean, he
completely missed the ball, and instead of kicking the ball, he's kicked McMenamin. And St Mirren have a free kick now, just to the right of the Aberdeen box, almost bang level with the penalty spot. We are going to get an update from Stephen Craigan at Dens in just a moment. Maybe we'll let this free kick be taken first, and Stephen can give us a considered opinion of what he's been watching in the opening 25 minutes or so at Dens Park. We're 26 in here in Paisley, and it's a St Mirren free kick. And they've got two over it. Keelan Boyd Muntz is there, so too Ryan Strain. It looks like it's going to be Boyd Muntz to take, though. Chance here, opportunity knocks for St Mirren. In comes the free kick. It's a really good delivery, and Roos holds on. Olisanya got the slightest touch onto it. And normally in that kind of situation, you see it end up in the net. Keller Roos holds on for dear life, and it stays goalless.
It was a sensational ball in with the left foot. Really was into a really dangerous area. It was just the slightest touch. Olisanya got on it, and you're right. Normally you see that nestle in the back of the net. Roos managing just to react quickly and get his hands on it.
Best chance of the game so far, Willie, falls to St Mirren.
There have
really
been no
good
Aberdeen chances.
Yeah, real good opportunity. You could say that Kel Roos was in the perfect position to take the header. I would say he was a little bit fortunate that it just was handed straight to him. Anywhere either side of him, he would have been struggling, because it was a really difficult one to defend again. Striker gets his head on it. The Aberdeen defenders not doing their job properly, and if you wind it back, Jack McKenzie's challenge was just so awkward. You know, when you see defenders going in like that, I think it makes everyone round about him a little bit nervous.
It is a St Mirren free kick. Strain takes into the Aberdeen box from just inside the Aberdeen half, cleared by Shinnie. It comes off the head of Marcus Fraser out to this near side. McMenamin trying to keep it in play. He's done that as well. Hooks it over his head. Here's Bacchus. Forward, McMenamin now. McMenamin evades the Hayes challenge. Clarkson wins it back. Hayes forward now with Duke on the ball on the near side. And comes off Bacchus wins it back off Duke, and Fraser forward onto the chest of Olasanya, challenged by Mackenzie. They want another free kick, and on another day that might have been given as well, as Duke goes down inside the St Mirren half, challenged by Fraser, out for a throw-in only. So only one team really in this one here. It does though remain goalless. Let's find out how things are going at Dens Park. Dundee against Hearts. Stephen Craigan.
Well, I have to say, Liam, it's not much better here. It is 0-0, I've got to say. Both sides have been quite reserved, out of possession, which is limiting the space for the opposition to play in. Look, McCowan had touched on at the start of the game. He's been a standout player. He's really dominated in midfield. I didn't think he would play wide on the right-hand side, but he's at the heart of Dundee's midfield. His vision, his awareness, his touch, his passing. Hearts look like a side who have made 5 changes from Thursday night. Lack of fluency, lack of rhythm. I think Tony Docherty will probably be the happier manager. It's 0-0. Hearts have got a little bit of work to do.
St Mirren coming forward down the left-hand side of the box. Tanzer wins it back. In comes the cross from Boyd Muntz, and it's a fairly weak header by Strain, which Kellaroos holds on to. But that all came from Kellaroos being charged down by Olasanya.
It did, and he showed his pace that Stephen Robinson was talking about. Kellaroos thought he had time, he didn't. It was brilliant play actually from Olasanya.
He's hurt himself, hasn't he?
Yeah. I didn't actually see what happened to him to go down in the box there, but another cross comes into the box again. Mirren win the header. This time it was Straining. It was a weak header again. I mean, this particular St Mirren side put really good deliveries into the box, and they've got to make more of those chances when they come around. That's probably 3 or 4 now that they've had kind of really tame headers on.
Looks like you got a bit of a crick in your neck there, Willie, because you're looking one way constantly. It's off to the right because we're seeing no action in the St Mirren half at all.
No, and you know, watching Barry Robson as well, and he's trying to get his players to calm down a little bit. I would wholeheartedly agree with that and play some football, at least try to play a little bit of football. But then you get the goalkeeper just dwelling on the ball too long. Roos there, you know, Olasanya, you know he's quick, you know he's going to track you down, and it was a good block. You're not talking about just a touch. He's got, you know, the full foot in front of the ball as well. And from that, the cross coming in, you know, players are not getting picked up either. Poorly defensively. The setup's not working particularly well. I think Jack McKenzie's struggling a little bit down this left-hand side. I did say that when he's got to think about the game, then that's not when he's at his strongest, and he doesn't really have anybody to pick up. He's really been ragged. And Stephen's right. From both sides, good crosses into the box, and Aberdeen struggling to defend.
Looks like Olasanya's going to be okay. He's just been receiving treatment while Willie was talking there. It's going to be an Aberdeen ball when play gets back underway. We're just beyond the half hour, about to tick on to 31. And it's 0-0 here on Sportsound, BBC Radio Scotland, across the frequencies, online, on digital. Wednesday, PSV Eindhoven against Rangers, the second leg of the Champions League playoff. 8 o'clock kickoff, 2-2 after the first leg. Then on Thursday, the Europa League, of course, Aberdeen Hacken, 7:45. It's a sold-out Pittodrie, live across BBC Scotland, and here on Sportsound, of course, with Pauk Hearts at 6:30. Villa Hibs updates, 8 p.m. kickoff for that one, albeit Aston Villa 5-0 up. Aberdeen at 2-2, Hearts 2-1 down. Another big European night ahead. You know, in the Premiership, 0-0 in the 2 matches this afternoon, both kicking off at 3, as Angus MacDonald rolls it with the right foot to the left for Mackenzie. Turns away from Olasanya, back to MacDonald. Low ball to Mijovski, back to Polvara. Left-footed ball, it's high, it's aimed for someone in red, but I'm not sure who it was. Shinnie gave chase, was never going to get there ahead of Strain, and now St Mirren have it again. Boyd Muntz, lovely play, rolls it out to McMenamin, 2 waiting in the middle, Kilty screaming for it. It is McMenamin across, low ball, cut out by Rubidic and behind for the corner. And Greg Kilty's frustrated. He's still having a pop there, and McMenamin for not releasing him sooner.
And he should have done. He really should have done. It was a great bit of play from St Mirren, winning the ball in the middle of the park. It's played out to McMenamin, he drives at the Aberdeen defence. He wants to go to the byline, but actually if he had lifted his head, there was 2 options in the middle of the penalty box for St Mirren. He wins the corner, however.
There's been a goal at Dens Park. We're going to go to Stephen in just a moment. St Mirren have a corner first though. Left-footed, bent in, the header tipped over by Kellaroos. Let's get to Stephen Craigan.
Liam, we say there's been a goal. We're waiting on VAR to confirm the goal or disallow the goal. I have to say it was an excellent play down the left-hand side by Scott Tiffany. He skipped past O'Faya inside the box. He managed to spin round, fizzed the ball across goal. It ricocheted. There was a shot, and I think Zach Robinson may have got the last touch on it. There was a slight delay. It looked like referee Alan Muir had pointed for the goal, then the referee's assistant's flag went up, so we'll wait to see.
We'll get confirmation from you in a moment, Stephen, then. St Mirren corner, second one in quick succession after Roos tipped over the header. In from Boyd once again, it's another good one, headed away. Breaks to Strain, taking on Miovski, goes down, John Beaton, yellow card out, the St Mirren player is going to be booked for diving. Now, it looked as though he might well have been fouled by Miovski just before that, and I think he's, obviously that's shown the seed in his head to go down at some point in the next challenge. Let's go back to Stephen Craigan at Dens for a decision on that Dundee goal.
Well, the goal has been ruled out, Liam. Zach Robinson was about 2 yards offside, but really good play by Dundee. They're starting to build up momentum, but still 0-0.
Still 0-0 here, but only just. Keller Roos with a wonderful piece of goalkeeping. It was instinctive goalkeeping as well, point blank to keep out the header. And then after that, Ryan Strain booked for diving.
So that's Greg Kilty has had 2 headers at the Aberdeen goal. I mean, how's that allowed to happen? You know, obviously they're not drilled well enough, or they're not concentrating well enough at set pieces, and that was a real opportunity. Another big opportunity and big chance for St Mirren.
Here comes Saints again. McMenamin down the near side, cleared by McKenzie. And it's going to be a throw-in to Saints. Stephen Robinson is going to be furious if his team doesn't capitalise on this utter dominance.
Yeah, it's all St Mirren, and they've had the opportunities. They keep knocking on the door, but you're right, they've got to get the goal.
Here come Saints, McMenamin, the Aberdeen defence stopped, waiting for a whistle that wasn't coming. In comes the cross ball, it's alive, it comes off a hand. That definitely came off someone's hand inside the 6-yard area as Aberdeen clear. It's all very frantic. Here comes Saints again, cross ball comes in, McDonald makes a complete hash of it, at least it looked as though he did. He's actually got enough in the sliding block to get it to Devlin, who whips it clear with the right foot, now for a throw-in on the far side.
Aberdeen are
and now they're going to check for a penalty.
Aberdeen are all over the place, Willie, defensively. Every ball that comes into the box, you think St Mirren are going to score. They should have scored on that occasion. It was all Usana. I don't know how he doesn't get anything on the first ball in. He completely missed it.
It was really difficult to see what happened with him, because it looked as though it was right on his head. McMenamin just picks him out with a cross, but there was bodies in front of him. But they're all over the place. They're ragged. They're not defending properly.
Now Barry Robson needs to sort that out, does he not? And St Mirren on the attack again. McMenamin on the near side. This time McKenzie gets the block challenge in and out for a Saints throw-in on this near side. And this has been a really good first half performance by Saints into the final 10 minutes of the first half that we are, but it remains 0-0 as Duke is fouled by Bacchus. I mean, he'll wait to half-time. Clearly, I think Barry Robson, unless there's an injury at some point between now and the break, but he's going to have to change something, because this is only a matter of time before St Mirren score here.
Yeah, it's a case of changing personnel or changing shape, but you know, when your defence is looking as nervous as the Aberdeen back three are, and I include all 3 of them in that, you know, not showing any calmness whatsoever in dealing with balls coming into the box or players running towards them. They look as though, you know, St Mirren can go by them with ease. Rubizic out on the right-hand side. McDonald is looking really ragged. Jack McKenzie throwing his boot up when really calmness was required to give away free kicks. And then, you know, St Mirren are getting opportunities from these free kicks, and their deliveries have been wonderful as well. Greg Kilty getting 2 headers on goal too. It's been just all over the place for the away side.
Both home teams have had the ball in the net, but both disallowed. Dundee thought they'd scored against Hart. Zach Robinson ruled out, offside. Same here for Keanu Bacchus. Duke under pressure, goes down. Polvara wanted too long on it. Boyd Muntz nicks it off him. Sums up the first half for both teams. That forward towards Olasanya. McDonald deals with it, and he's brought down by Olasanya, and it's a free kick for Aberdeen at the edge of their own box. 0-0 in both matches. Just having a look at the statistics, 56% possession for St Mirren, feels like more than that. 6 shots to Aberdeen's 0. 3 of them have hit the target, 3 corners to 0. But 0-0.
Yeah, I mean, Aberdeen have looked poor defensively, but the biggest surprise for me is the lack of attacking intent from them. I mean, they have created nothing, absolutely nothing in the match so far.
apart from the wing-backs, same team that started the game the other night, but the team that finished the game the other night was excellent, Willie. So
yes,
why not play that team?
Yeah, well, it's perhaps going through Barry Robson's mind at this moment in time. I think the worrying thing, if you're a St Mirren supporter, and there are a few in the stadium.
It's great turnout today. Really good.
There was only, I think, there was only something like 300 to 500 tickets left this morning.
Great turnout.
Yeah,
good atmosphere. But they've had opportunities, they've had chances.
You're right, Willie.
And they haven't taken them yet.
Yeah, it just looks great. I always thought that this place generates a good atmosphere when it's full, and it's another example of it.
Well, the fans are turning out for St Mirren. I mean, Aberdeen always.
We're top of the league. If they're not going to come out now, they're not going to come out, are they?
Exactly. But yeah, it helps when the away end's full as well, obviously.
Yeah, as usual, a terrific away support for Aberdeen. And tick on to 39 in Paisley. 0-0 here, 0-0 at Dens. Throw in for Nicky Devlin for Aberdeen, a bit level with the edge of the D of the St Mirren box. Long ball, Rubitic with a header towards goal. It's nodded away by Bacchus. The Dick Turpin stuff if Aberdeen were to score here. It's Polvara. Rubitic just goes underneath his leg. He's able to retrieve the situation out wide in the right, rolls it infield to Polvara. And then back the way to Hayes. It really is the League of Nations at Aberdeen these days. Cosmopolitan feel to the squad. Long ball headed away by Taylor from inside his own box. Devlin trying to get there, but it's going to be launched onto the roof of the stand by Boyd Muntz.
That's in the car park.
And the new one straight back on. Well, that's not hit your motor, Stevie. As it goes out for a throw, which Devlin will take, bowling it back to Rubitic. And then to McDonald in his own half. Kelarus, he's got away with a couple of really awkward situations in this game. He's also made a terrific save from Greg Kilty's header. Tip it over the bar to keep the scoreline blank. Rubitic with a right foot dink ball forward. Down the right-hand side. Taylor gets in the way. St Mirren player down, no free kick. Aberdeen have it with Duke. He loses us out. He loses out on the far side. Miovski's down, clutching his back. As Clarkson picks up the loose ball in the midfield. He's back on his feet now, and that's not run down well with the St Mirren supporters. He goes out to play on the far side for a throw-in. I think John Beaton's given the free kick to Aberdeen, fouled by Taylor on Duke. This is probably the longest Aberdeen have had the ball in the St Mirren half consecutively in this first half.
Yeah, they're finishing the first half well then. It's been dreadful from them. They've hardly been up the pitch. They've shown no intent to pass the ball either. Their touch when they have tried to make simple passes has just been awful. Defensively, very, very poor. Looking really ragged at the back indeed. So I think Barry Robson will be delighted to hear the half-time whistle, get the players in and try to make some sense of this first 45.
Free kick, which Clarkson leaves to Hayes, and it comes, and it's gone all the way in! That's incredible! Johnny Hayes with a free kick. Stephen Robinson is furious down there. He doesn't even think it was a foul, and Johnny Hayes' ball has evaded everyone, and it's bamboozled Zach Hemming on its way into the net to give Aberdeen, who've been horrendous in this first half, the lead just before the break in Paisley. St Mirren 0, Aberdeen 1. Astonishing.
Oh, quite incredible. You know, if it ends up 1-0 at half-time, the first 45 belongs to St Mirren, but if Aberdeen go in with that goal of the lead, it'll be quite sensational from their point of view. I was saying that Barry Robson would be hoping at half-time that he could make some sense of the first half. There is no sense in the first half because they've been so poor. And yet they go in with one goal. Stephen Robinson getting the yellow card. He was raging. He thought that the Taylor challenge on Duke was not a free kick, that Duke took a dive. He was up to the fourth official instantly when the free kick was given. You can imagine what it was like when that ended up in the back of the net.
How many times have you seen that type of cross just evade everybody? Nobody goes for it, and the goalkeeper just watches it sail into the back post. I mean, poor defensively from St Mirren. Somebody's got to take charge here, whether it's a goalkeeper or a centre half. But honestly, how Aberdeen are 1-0 up here going into half-time is astonishing.
Johnny Hayes' first goal in more than a year. to be fair, the free kick, Willie, it shades of that famous goal against Bayern Munich at Pataudry in '83 on the way to the Cup Winners' Cup, didn't it? Because it looked like Clarkson was going to take it, he left it, looked as though they were confused, and Johnny Hayes whipped it in, and it's 1-0.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a confusion, or a little bit of confusion in the St Mirren ranks at the back, but you know, Stephen's right, someone's got to take control of that situation. I think a goalkeeper has got to take responsibility there.
It lands, when it bounces before it goes into the net, it's quite close to him, isn't it?
Yeah, but you know, if somebody's going to get a touch on it, or if there's an Aberdeen player getting a touch, even one of your central defenders getting a touch on it, and it goes by you, then fair enough. Yeah. That's what happens. But if it goes, you know, past everyone, he's then got to read the flight of the ball. He's got to take control of it, and he's got to make the save.
Well, 1-0 Aberdeen. I was just not long finished, Tom, we're talking about Dick Turpin, and that is...
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Commentator cursed it. I can't believe it. Outrageous stuff. Honestly.
That wasn't my fault.
Yes, it was.
Throw in for St Mirren on this near side to be taken by Strain. They will feel so aggrieved that they're behind here. There's what?
I thought it was a half-time whistle.
No. It's 44 minutes. There'll be stoppage time as well.
Okay.
Calm down. Here is Olasanya for St Mirren on this near side. Short to Strain, to Bacchus, digs out the ball to the 18-yard line. Headed away by Rubidzic. Shinnie's it nicked off him by Bacchus. Here's McMenamin inside the penalty area. McKenzie with the challenge. Out comes Hayes, knocks it off Strain, and out for an Aberdeen throw-in. And little things like that going Aberdeen's way all of a sudden.
You know, they're winning 1-0, and look at the supporters are absolutely buzzing. But really, if you're being honest, it has been one-way traffic from about the 10th minute.
3 minutes being bolted on to the end of this first half. 0-0 it remains at Dens. Dundee did have the ball in the net against Hearts, but it was ruled out after a VAR check. 1-0 Aberdeen here. 3 minutes confirmed by the fourth official, Stuart Luke's board down below us. Bouncing ball, Duke chasing. Gogic gets there first. Down the right-hand side, it's with McMenamin. And then he gives it straight to Miovski. I did say at the time that Stephen Robinson would have been concerned that they didn't take advantage of their dominance in this game. They didn't score. I mean, they were dominant for 40 minutes of this. As McKenzie prepares to take a throw in just inside his own half on this near side. Looking for Miovski. Boyd Muntz gets his head onto it, finds McMenamin, back to Strain, whips it up into the air, comes off the back of McDonald and out for a throw into Saints on this near side. And then first half stoppage time here. A throw in taken by Strain, down the right-hand side for McMenamin. McKenzie with a challenge. McMenamin's away from him though, to the byline, into the box, plays it across. It's a comfortable take at this near post for Killaroos. The St Mirren 0, Aberdeen 1 here in Paisley.
McMenamin does well, but again, horrendous set up from Aberdeen from the throw-in. All too easy, allowing McMenamin to get to the byline. He just couldn't dig his cross out, gets it kind of stuck under his feet, and there was options in the middle of the box.
It just shouldn't happen. It's too easy. Possession is gained too easy by St Mirren at that throw, and you know, no communication between McDonald and McKenzie, and you know, they're lucky to get away with it. You know, if the winger McMenamin had actually managed to get his head up and cut that back, then it's a big opportunity once again.
Leighton Clarkson forward onto the chest of Miovski. He leaves it for Shinnie. Infield to Polvara, back to Clarkson. Clarkson need to pick out a teammate. He elects to just play the short ball back to Polvara, out to McKenzie on this near side. Onto the touchline for Hayes, into the third and final minute of stoppage time that was added. Polvara infield to Clarkson, back to McDonald in the halfway line, and then to Dante Polvara on this near side. Forward he comes, ball infield to Miovski, gets the break off Boyd Muntz, into the midfield. Hayes finds Clarkson, back to McKenzie, and then to McDonald. Suddenly Aberdeen are stroking the ball about. McDonald with the long ball, big switch out towards Devlin, won by Tanzer. I mean, St Mirren must be absolutely beleaguered as to what's happened here.
Yeah, but you've seen it before. It's not the first time something like that has happened. And we were speaking about how they had to capitalise on their dominance, and they didn't. And they may live to regret that.
Thrown for Aberdeen, Rubidzic. Headed clear by Saints. Shinnie picks it up, out to Devlin. Duke gives chase, keeps it in play down by the corner flag on the far side. and wins his team a corner. Now, I make it that that's the 3 minutes played, but there's going to be time for this corner, and if Aberdeen score a second here, it would be truly outrageous.
They look stunned, I've got to say. St Mirren look stunned. They can't believe it. It's been the best spell for Aberdeen the last 4 or 5 minutes since that goal went in. Very fortunate goal. But at the same time, you know, St Mirren haven't taken their opportunities. Aberdeen have been poor, but it looks as though they're getting in at half-time with at least 1 goal advantage.
Well, Hayes with the corner towards the back post. Hemming beats it away with both fists, and then it's cleared by Greg Kiltie up into the air, and there's the half-time whistle. And it's half-time at Dens, 0-0. Aberdeen, though, with a lead here in Paisley. Quite how, we don't know. Well, we do know, because Johnny Hayes took a free kick that beat everyone. Cross ball into the box, and Zach Hemming didn't react, and it ended up in the net behind him. That after complete and utter domination by St Mirren. Their best opportunity, a Greg Kiltie header. Point-blank save from Kelarus as he tipped it over the crossbar. Olisanya had a header saved and held by Kelarus earlier on as well. Keanu Bacchus had the ball in the net, but it was ruled out for offside initially, and then after the VAR check confirmed he was in an offside position. And St Mirren are going up the tunnel at half-time, rubbing their eyes in disbelief that the half-time scoreline here in Paisley is St Mirren 0, Aberdeen 1.
On digital radio,
FM,
online at BBC Sports Scotland,
your smart speaker,
and on BBC Sounds.
This is Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.
Off the planet! What a strike! What a goal!
Following Scotland's teams in Europe.
The action continues on Wednesday evening with PSV Eindhoven versus Rangers.
Sima shoots, goal!
What a finish then.
Sports Sound, Wednesday from 7.
As a team, we're going there to get this job done, and we'll give it everything we can.
European dreams live here.
It's an early ball by Dessers, transfer, Matondo!
Listen on digital radio.
Or play BBC Radio Scotland Extra.
Looking forward to a big midweek in European football. Wednesday night, then that PSV Eindhoven Rangers game on the radio. Thursday, well, we're off with PAOK against Hearts. We're on air at 6 o'clock, so it's a 6:30 kickoff for PAOK Hearts. Aberdeen Hacken 7:45. There'll be commentary from both those games, and updates too from that somewhat forlorn hope of Hibernian. Now, of course, without the management of Lee Johnson, who has been sacked today. That's also a 7:45 kickoff. And the Aberdeen Hacken game, sellout at Pittodrie, is also live on BBC Scotland channel from 7:30. It's live in the radio, live in the telly, and of course coverage right the way through the course of the week of all the football here. And do listen out for the daily Scottish football podcast, Monday to Friday, every day of the week, with full details of everything that is happening, all the big talking points, everything that is happening in Scottish football. So the half-times in the 2 matches so far, somewhat improbably, St Mirren 0, Aberdeen 1. And here at Dens Park it is Dundee 0, Hearts 0. Let's hear a bit more about that one from Stephen Craigan.
Yeah, I've got to say, Richard, it's actually been, you know, a good watch. I think we're more than anything anticipating something springing into life in the game. Hearts, for me, have looked a little bit off it. Dundee have set up well, their shape's good out of possession. I think they're allowing Kai Rolls and Frankie Kent to have the ball. They're not pressing them too much, they're allowing them to step forward. Once they make that pass forward, that's when Dundee are moving forward and trying to intercept that pass and play in the counter-attack. The front four of Lawrence Shankland and Vargas and Oda and Lowry, at times for me, have all been playing as individuals. There's been no real link-up play, no cohesion, and they look as if they're a little bit lost, not too sure how they're going to connect and make things happen for Hearts. Dundee, I've got to say, I have to be, they've been industrious. As I say, their shape's been good. They've been waiting to counter-attack from that shape. Scott Tiffany on the left-hand side has been a bright spark. We know he's a good ball carrier. We know he can take men on. He can take his team up the pitch. Luke McCowan, for me, has been a standout player. He just looks such a natural footballer. You know, he's comfortable with the ball at his feet. He's getting balls into Zach Robinson as a centre forward, or Bakayoko. He's playing little 1-2s. He's driving forward from midfield. Zach Robinson, of course, had that goal disallowed. It was excellent play by Tiffany down the left-hand side. He skipped past a couple of players, O'Fyan particularly, fizzed the ball across goal, took a couple of deflections. I'm not too sure if it was going in or it had the pace to go in, but Zach Robinson stuck a leg out and just diverted it into the back of the net. Alan Muir, the referee, initially pointed for the goal. Within 10 seconds, the referee's assistant's flag went up. It went to VAR, and I think he was about 2 yards offside. Tiffany also had a shot that went wide. I think Finlay Robertson, just towards half-time, went with his left foot, fizzed it past the left-hand post. But Hearts have had nothing really of note. Frankie Kent's had a couple of headers, or a couple of possibility headers from set plays. But Stephen Naismith will demand an awful lot more from his team. Tony Dockery will just ask for a little bit more composure in the final third. As I said, it's been a good game, but without a lot of goal-mouth action.
Yeah, the goal, it was rightly disallowed, because actually Robinson was a couple of yards offside, but it was a bizarre scenario where the linesman never at any point raised his flag initially. He stood there with his flag down. He stood in line with where Robinson had put the ball in. It was almost as if he was waiting for a direction, and then he ultimately put his flag up, and then of course we got the VAR. But very bizarre. I think you're right, though. I think it's a save for Xander Clark if Robinson doesn't get a touch, so he probably needed to do it. The other thing that has struck me throughout this, we spoke beforehand, Stephen, about the fact that Dundee were certainly competitive in their first couple of matches against Motherwell and St Mirren. Absolutely been that again this afternoon, haven't they?
They have, and sometimes it takes a player to instigate that, Richard. And Cammy Kerr, for all his deficiencies or his deficiencies that people think he has, he's really combative. He's fully committed. He's a Dundee boy. He's a Dundee fan. He's playing on that right-hand side.
There were a couple of challenges earlier when the pitch was still wet.
There was a couple of meaty ones. Even when he's not going to win the ball, he still goes in at times and leaves a little bit on the opponent. He's right in front of the fans in the dairy, as they call it over there, so they were getting behind him, and I think his teammates just kind of reacted from that. Bakayoko up top has been a handful. He's been aggressive. I think Boateng in midfield has been snapping into tackles. Owen Beck, I said ahead of the game, I watched him against St Mirren, he looked a little bit soft. Today he's got a little bit of bite between his teeth. So Dundee are really competitive. Tony Duck will just want that little bit of composure, a little bit of finesse. I did say, where will the goals come from? Where will the creative spark come from? Yes, McCowan's doing it a little bit deeper. It's going to be Orlando and Scott Tiffany doing that. But all round, Tony Dockery will be pleased how things have gone. He was probably pleased how they played against Motherwell. Overall, probably pleased how they played in the second half against St Mirren. They've only 1 point to show for it, so we'll want some more this afternoon.
Well, Hearts certainly have a lot to turn to in terms of strength and depth on the bench. They may have to go to that if they have to have a real impact on this game. In the Women's Premier League, SWPL 1, scores from earlier: Hibernian 2, Spartans 2. Spartans were 2-0 up in that one, had a player sent off, then conceded 2 late goals. Partick Thistle beat Montrose by 5 goals to 0. It was Aberdeen 0, Hearts 2, and Celtic women have thrashed Dundee United by 9 goals to 0. Hamilton away to Motherwell. The Lanarkshire derby there will kick off in just a few minutes' time, and then at 4:10 live on BBC Alpha, Rangers against Glasgow City, the first of the head-to-head titanic battles that will, you feel, go a long way towards deciding who will win the title this season between Rangers, Glasgow City and Celtic. So we'll keep an eye on those scores as Sports Sound continues. We've got live second-half commentary to come, of course, from Paisley, where the most improbable half-time scoreline, not just of this season, but possibly since Aberdeen won at Livingston, Willie, in a game you will remember very all too well, where they're absolutely outplayed and shocking and somehow came away with a win. And the halfway towards doing exactly the same thing in Paisley this afternoon.
Yeah, Richard, it's incredible, seeing a team that's barely taken part in the game and has done just about everything that they could do to aid the opposition, and allow Greg Kilty, for instance, 2 headers at goal. Olusanya got the header as well that was very fortunately taken by Kel Roos. Defensively, extremely poor, looked very nervous, the 3 of them. Not showing any composure whatsoever and trying to deal with the front 3 of St Mirren. Totally devoid of inspiration in midfield. And anonymous up front, 2 strikers having nothing to do at all. And you go in at half-time 1-0 up. I mean, it's just incredible. But I suppose at the end of the day, that's football. If you don't take your chances, and St Mirren have had a number of them, a good handful of chances, and even more opportunities than that, then you're always open to that sucker punch, and dearie me, what a sucker punch it was from Johnny Hayes. Just a ball curled into the far post, and the goalkeeper not taking responsibility in dealing with it, and it ends up in the back of the net. It's quite incredible that we sit here at half-time with Aberdeen having that 1-goal lead. It's hard to believe, having watched that first 45 minutes.
Well, absolutely. I've got to say, we've got a feed of it here. I've seen some of the action, but mainly concentrating what's happening here at Dens. One thing I did notice, Stephen, was about the 36 minutes. So Liam mentioned it in the commentary, but he said it was one of many scrambles in the Aberdeen box, and he said that there was a clear handball in there. I managed to see a replay of that. Just the one, but Angus MacDonald's left arm, I think it is up. There's a shot now. It might be because it's at fairly close range, but the ball is going goalwards, and it clearly hits MacDonald on the arm. I was going to say somewhat perplexed that VAR didn't suggest either it was a penalty or that the referee have a look at that. Was a sense within the stadium that was a big moment, that might have been a penalty?
I think there was, yeah. Liam spotted it. There was a bit of a stramage, but it definitely looked like it came off somebody's hand. Whose it was difficult to see. But yeah, if that is the case, we obviously don't have monitors here, but if it is the case, then it would be a surprise that it didn't go to VAR. I mean, this has been right up there with the Brinks Mat robbery. It really has. It's incredible to think that Aberdeen are 1-0 up in this match. They created, and when I say nothing, I mean nothing. Not a cross in the box, not a shot from 30 yards, not one piece of play where you would have said, well, that was good football. They've been completely dominated by St Mirren in that opening half. But, I've played in games like that where you've battered a team, and they score out of nowhere, and as unfair as it feels, you've got to react to it, and that's the big test for St Mirren in this second half. As well as they played in the first half, as much as they dominated, they've got to use that as fuel now in this second half to go and try and get an equaliser and then a winner. Aberdeen can't play worse than that. At least I don't think they can. So Aberdeen should be better in the second half. You would imagine Barry Robson will change something, whether it's tactical, whether it's personnel, quickly, because that was defective. And it was just, I mean, it's the first time I've seen Aberdeen in the flesh this season, but that performance was turgid. So you're expecting them to get better. For St Mirren, they've got to just keep plugging away, but the big thing for St Mirren is when they do create opportunities, that they really do have to take them. There's no point in dominating a game if you're not going to have that final piece of the jigsaw, and that's what St Mirren need to do. But it's talk about a sucker punch. Liam completely cursed it, of course, in his commentary.
And the long ball can be an effective tactic if it's part of an overall approach to the game, I suppose, and you're mixing things up. But it was all Aberdeen were doing, isn't it? I mean, at no point, from what I saw from listening to you guys, did they actually try to play any football in that half?
No, it was very ineffective. And when the balls are going up, Majowski's reasonably tall, but he's not going to beat Alex Gogic and Richard Taylor to balls that are in the air. If you're going to go long, and if St Mirren are pressing high and you've got reasonable possession and you want to stick it in behind for Duke's pace, fine. But we've not seen that because they've not managed to have secure, safe possession to be able to play that pass. The balls that have been going long have been kind of rushed balls and panic balls because they've not put their foot in the ball once in the game, Aberdeen, to try and gain a bit of composure. I mean, you've got players like Shinnie and Clarkson in the middle of the pitch who are both very capable on the ball. You expect that they would have more of a grip of the game, but they've not, and they've bypassed the midfield and just gone up to the front two, who really, you wouldn't criticise them because they've had no service really to be able to do anything with it. Defensively, I think is probably the biggest problem for Aberdeen, because whenever a ball's coming into the box, they look, I mean, you're just thinking St Mirren are going to either get an effort on goal or score goals, and Greg Kilty's not tall, but he's had 2 free headers in the middle of the 6-yard box. So there's something not quite clicking for Aberdeen, and I'd expect that Barry Robson will be having pretty stern words in there at half-time.
Willie, you would imagine, when you, despite the fact they're leading, that Barry Robson will have that concern, that he will be looking to affect the game in a way that will see them being more competitive in the second half?
Yeah, and I'm really feeling Stephen's pain. Richard, going through the Aberdeen deficiencies there, which I wholeheartedly agree with. And Barry, what do you do? I think you try to get a little bit more control in midfield, but The back three have been all over the place. You know, they have not shown any calmness at all in defending and dealing with the front three of St Mirren, and that's got to improve. The midfield has got to show a bit more calmness and a bit more creativity. You just can't be launching that ball forward. There's no point in doing it the way they are doing it just now, because they're not trying to get it in behind. They're just launching big high balls forward. No use for Majowski, no use for Duke. Dreadful first half performance. And as Stephen says, I think Aberdeen can't play any worse than that. So that's a bad news for St Mirren.
Right, I'll get back to you in just a moment. Quickly to Stephen, because Hearts have done something pretty dramatic at half-time here.
Well, they have. They made 3 substitutions. Clearly what Stephen Naismith was watching and Frankie McAvoy was watching was the exact same as what I was monitoring from up here. So 3 subs: Liam Boyce, Cammy Devlin and Nathaniel Atkinson will come on. Yutaro Oda, Toby Sibic, who I have to say is not a centre midfield player, I prefer him playing as a centre half. He's off, as is Odell Ofaya. So 3 changes for Hearts. Stephen Naismith wanting a big response.
Wow, 3 changes at half-time for Hearts. Back to Paisley then live, second half commentary. St Mirren 0, Aberdeen 1, as we will rejoin Willie, Stephen and Liam.
Yeah, no changes for either team here. Slightly surprising, perhaps, when it comes to Aberdeen, but maybe the goal changed the thinking of Barry Robson at the break. Johnny Hayes the last to make his way onto the pitch. And it will be St Mirren who get things underway at the start of this second half, going right to left in the black and white stripes. Aberdeen all in red with gold flashes. And it's a long ball forward for the Dons. Gogic gives chase, gets his head onto it, nods it out to this near side. No slip as he plays it off Majowski. And out for a St Mirren throw-in. So it's Hemming in goal for the Paisley Buddies. Fraser, Gogic, Taylor, Strain and Tanzer, Bacchus, Boyd, Muntz, McMenamin, Kiltie and Olasanya. For Aberdeen, it's Roos, Rubidzic, McDonald and McKenzie, Devlin and Hayes, Shinnie, Clarkson, Polvara, Majowski and Lopez. And it's a throw-in for Saints on this near side, midway inside their own half, to be taken by Richard Taylor. Bowls it down this near side, cleared by Rubidzic, up into the air, off the head of Duke. Can't find Majowski, comes to Taylor again, left-footed, long ball looking to spring the Aberdeen defence. McMenamin has it, left-hand side of the box, low ball looking for Olasanya, it was behind him, it almost fell to Kiltie. And Aberdeen clear, round about the edge of the 6-yard line, and out of play. It goes, I think, for a throw-in down on this near side for St Mirren in an attacking position.
Johnny Hayes does really well to cover over there, but it was a brilliant ball from Taylor into the channel. McMenamin doing really well, get the cut back. It was meant for Olusanya, but then Greg Kiltie, it was behind him, and Kiltie was arriving just to tap it home, probably, had it not been for the intervention of Johnny Hayes.
Long thrown into the box by Gogic. Devlin gets 2 headers onto it and then clears, preventing the corner. Duke will chase. Marcus Fraser favourite though, he gets there, left-footed ball up and under down this near side. Devlin beats Gogic to it. There's Clarkson for Aberdeen, just 2 on to it. Duke challenging with Taylor. Taylor though for St Mirren works to the right for the centre circle for Strain to Bacchus, and back to Ryan Strain to Bacchus. Right-footed switch of play out to this left-hand side. St Mirren looking to get back into their stride here. Tanzer's cross ball headed away by McKenzie, only as far as Strain, takes a touch, rolls it to the right of the box. Chance here for McMenamin, his effort's blocked. Takes back to Strain again, right-footed cross ball in, right through to Roos, who holds on. And it remains St Mirren 0, Aberdeen 1, just a couple of minutes into the second half. And St Mirren getting into their stride early in the piece here in the second period.
Yeah, they started the way they left off in the first half, haven't they? Putting Aberdeen under pressure, playing these little dink balls in behind, and the Dons defence not dealing with them. You know, that cross come shot there was easily dealt with from Kel Roos in goal, but you know, again, Aberdeen really struggling to get any foothold in this game and still looking, you know, really fragile in terms of their confidence.
Yeah, well, this defence won't have played terribly often together in the match scenario. McKenzie, Rubidzic and McDonald. Duke picks up down the left-hand side for Aberdeen, attacking the St Mirren byline. He has it, gets the cross in. Majowski looking for it, his eyes were on the ball, but it's a diving header away by Taylor. Only as far as Polvara. Here's Clarkson bending it into the box, half away. Devlin picks it up at the edge of the area, can't find Polvara. He puts it straight to Kiltie, who rolls it back though as Devlin slides in and prevents Tanzer's ball from getting down the line, and it goes out for a St Mirren throw-in on this near side. 1-0 Aberdeen.
At least Aberdeen getting a cross into the box more than they managed in the first half.
Yeah, it was dealt with well by Taylor, who's got this throw in for Saints on this near side, flicked on by Tanzer. And right through to McDonald for Aberdeen, though, on the halfway line. Clarkson with the up and under with the left foot. Fraser underneath it. Saints skipper. It's off Clarkson's head, and then Devlin trying to control. Devlin goes down, no free kick, hooks it forward. Gogic will pick it up. It's all very scrappy again down there. As Gogic looks up, right-footed, looking to try and play it into the path over McKenzie of McMenamin. McKenzie's there, he finds Hayes, he's under pressure. McKenzie's gone down, no free kick. Ball played forward to Lasagna. McDonald just nicks it away from him. Kept in play down that right-hand side by Conor McMenamin. Low ball to the right angle of the box for Strain. Strain looking to find space to cross, and it comes off Hayes. Cleared by McDonald, then rifled towards goal, spilled and in! St Mirren equalise! Greg Kelty on the rebound! Kellerush makes a mess of it, and St Mirren level early in the second half through Kelty. St Mirren 1, Aberdeen 1.
Well, it was a fantastic hit from Keanu Bacchus at the edge of the box. Poor goalkeeping from Kellerush. Spills it out. Greg Kelty was just waiting to smash it high into the roof of the net. Game on.
He's followed it in well, though, hasn't he, Kelty? You know, he's anticipated it coming off of Kellerush. You're right. It's a huge error from the Aberdeen goalkeeper. You know, it's low, it goes down. He should be able to. He's not going to take it and hold on to it. He's got to
parry
try
it
and parry it sideways, out the way. It comes off his chest. It just falls perfectly for Kelty and rifles it into the back of the net. Joyce St Mirren deserve it. Offside.
They're checking for a possible offside here. In the build up to that, Aberdeen preparing to take centre, though, in the anticipation that the goal is going to be given. James McGarry down there, the New Zealand international who they brought on, looks as though he's being ready to come onto the pitch. Hayes was late coming back out for the second half, so John Beaton just waiting for confirmation from Ewan Anderson, the VAR, that St Mirren are indeed level in this game, and they'll feel they deserve to be at least level in the match.
Can't take this long for an offside.
Well, the old semi-automated system they've got working in the UEFA competitions just now works really, really quickly.
Oh.
John Beaton is walking back towards the Aberdeen box as he continues to speak to Ewan Anderson. He makes the sign on the TV, and it's been ruled out. That's incredible. No goal for St Mirren, and Aberdeen continue to lead this football match.
It's not for an offside, though. He's brought it away back to the left-hand side.
It's a foul in the build-up then.
Deary me.
Johnny Hayes coming off, and on comes McGarry. So it's the Aberdeen supporters, Willie, who celebrate as if they've scored.
Yeah,
effectively have in many ways.
Well, you know, when things are going for you, they're certainly going for Aberdeen this afternoon. I haven't a clue what that's for. Hopefully we get a little bit of information on what the free kick was given for. It seems quite a bit before the goal was scored. We thought perhaps it was offside. It isn't offside. It's well out, somewhat 30-odd yards out. The free kick has been given. So Aberdeen, you know, have rode their luck, and certainly everything is going for them this afternoon with that goal getting chalked off.
Well, it's been a pretty remarkable game. McGarry comes on. He impressed when he came on against Hacken on Thursday night. Not sure if it can be put down to a European hangover for Aberdeen, given that was their first European game of the season. There's something wrong with the performance today, for sure. Many things wrong with it. And St Mirren, sometimes if it's not your day, it's not your day. Well, it's still got plenty time.
They've had the ball in the back of the net twice.
Yeah, the first one wasn't quite as dramatic as that one, though. You expected the flag to go up for that one. The Bacchus, as the aforementioned Aussie goes down on the far side wanting a free kick. It's going to be an Aberdeen throw-in level with their own, with the St Mirren penalty spot. McGarry, who's just on, is over it. He just bowls it back to Jack McKenzie. McKenzie on the turn to McDonald. Oh, it's a dreadful ball by McDonald. Gives it straight to Lasagna, who's driving forward now. Lasagna up against Rubizic. Now he's one-on-one with the keeper. Lasagna saved by Roos. Then it bounces off Rubizic and goes behind for the St Mirren corner.
He's got to score, Liam. He's got to score. I mean, his pace was brilliant. He did everything right. Everything right. He's one-on-one with the goalkeeper. all he's got to do is pick his spot and he hits the goalkeeper's leg. It's a great save, don't get me wrong, but in that situation you really have to score.
He's got to lift it, is he not? He's got to show.
The dink was on.
Yeah, give it a bit of air, put it high. Roos comes out, he goes low, Roos, as well, so it's on for the striker to give it a little bit of air. Big chance.
In comes the St Mirren corner. It's way too deep though, and it's going to skip away from Richard Taylor and out for a throw-in on this near side. I tell you who's breathing a massive sigh of relief, Willie, and that's Kelly Roos, because that error from him as he spilled it to Kiltie is chalked or wiped from the memory bank.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a decent save, but he shouldn't have a chance of making a save like that. The only thing is, Alessandro, he's that quick, isn't he, that he maybe needs to just steady himself a little bit, take a little bit off the pace and show more composure in front of goal and take the goalkeeper out completely. He just drives it with force very low, and I think it's a relatively easy save for the Aberdeen goalkeeper.
So Roos dodges a bullet with the goal that was chalked off, and Angus MacDonald dodges one as Roos saves from Alessandro. Aberdeen are going to make a double change here. Jamie McGrath and Richard Jensen are coming on, I think, by the looks of things, for the Dons. Barry Robson will be concerned what he's seeing, even though his team continues to somehow lead this match. In comes the free kick for St Mirren, headed by an Aberdeen player back towards his own goalkeeper, who holds on under pressure. And he's gone down hurt, Taylor Roos. At least he stayed down. 2 changes for Aberdeen, and there's no surprise.
No, definitely no surprise. The performance so far has been really, really poor. Yeah, they've been riding their luck, that's to say, the very least.
I mean, as far as Jensen's concerned, I believe he's left-footed centre back.
He is, yeah.
So that would be McKenzie, or Rubezic could go to the centre. But then it still leaves you with 2 left-footed centre backs on. So I think it's probably McKenzie who's looked. You could take any of the 3 of them off, to be perfectly honest. They've been poor throughout. You know, and it's been a really disappointing performance from Aberdeen. Yeah, you could say the European game has had an effect on them, but I think that's letting them off lightly.
It is McKenzie who's coming off. And Aberdeen's new number 5 will get a debut. He has been playing Richard Jensen. He's made 5 appearances in the Polish top flight for Górnik Zabrze, who Aberdeen have signed him from, Finland international, and he replaces McKenzie. And Jamie McGrath is going to replace Dante Polvara, former St Mirren player, top scorer here a few seasons ago. He was on loan at Dundee United last term. So he has been back here in opposition colours as he's booed back on by the St Mirren supporters.
Yeah, that's standard.
And John McGinn was booed by the Hibs fans the other night, so if that happens, anyone's getting booed. McGrath to Devlin, flicking it towards Duke inside the St Mirren box. Gogic gets there now. Miovski loses out, he's going down, he's not getting a free kick. Scott Tanzer clears for Saints, and now it's with McMenamin left of the centre circle. Sweeps it out to the right for Strain. 1-0 Aberdeen, 0-0 at Dens, it remains. Olisanya on the right for St Mirren, he really should have equalised. Short ball back to Strain, controls with the undersole, up against McGarry. Forced back the way, and in field to Bacchus. Bacchus out to Strain, to Bacchus, back to Strain, brilliantly done, into the box, it's Strain, to the byline, pulls it back.
It's got to be a handball.
Down, handball, yes, penalty St Mirren. And finally they're going to get their chance for the leveller.
It was absolutely brilliant play, it really was, from St Mirren out on that right-hand side. A couple of 1-2s, Ryan Strain driving to the byline, cuts it back. And from where we are, which is quite a distance, it looked fairly obvious. John Beaton's much closer than us, points to the spot immediately.
It's the groan from the Saints fans as the VAR check goes on. I think they're going to be successful this time though. Greg Kiltie's got the ball as he waits to take the penalty for Saints. Of course, Mark O'Hara would normally take the spot kicks. He's out injured just now, the club captain. But this is an opportunity for St Mirren to equalise. Still the check goes on though. You do begin to wonder, the longer these checks go on, as to what kind of decision the referee's going to end up coming to. As he walks away from it, Greg Kiltie's made to wait some more. They got 2 penalties, St Mirren, against Aberdeen last season here. The Dons' only visit, 3-1 St Mirren, it finished.
You would think if it's clear and it hits his arm, then it is a penalty, unless it comes off another part of his body. Because he's just thrown, I think it was Angus MacDonald, was it? Just threw his body at it. Looked as though it had an arm, but we're quite far away from it. Not a great angle here, and we still wait. The wait goes on.
Greg Kiltie stands. Kellerus, the Aberdeen keeper, talking to John Beaton. And penalty is awarded. Confirmed. Took them a while.
Yeah, it normally does, but a big chance for St Mirren now.
Yeah, I mean, they've spurred some massive chances today.
Huge chances, Liam. 2 goals chopped off as well, but they deserve to be at least level with Aberdeen. Big moment this.
Greg Kiltie, just before the hour mark, right-footed penalty, goal! 1-1! Stephen Robinson celebrates, as does Kiltie, as do the Saints players and supporters. Kellerus guesses wrongly, and Kiltie finds the net. St Mirren 1, Aberdeen 1, and you can't say that they don't deserve.
They 100% deserve it. They 100% deserve it, and it's a really cool penalty from Greg Kiltie. You're right, Kellerus gambles, goes the wrong way. Kiltie stroking it home.
You just wonder why it took VAR so long to make that decision. I saw a little replay of it. It's plain.
Obvious.
McDonald that throws his arms out. The ball's cut back from the byline. Looked to me as though it was pretty much straightforward decision. The referee got it right, and VAR took perhaps a little bit long in making their mind up.
Well, they like to go back and check other things before the actual incident, but
obviously
even still, yeah, I mean, it was one thing that was a bit of a gripe last season, was the time it was taking to make decisions. And we're hoping this season it can improve the time it takes.
So Barry Robson made the changes.
That looked a nasty one, Liam.
Was that
over
Jensen?
There. Jensen going in. I'm not sure who the St Mirren player is, but that looked a really rash challenge from the Aberdeen centre-back.
Well, red cards were peppered across this fixture last season. Aberdeen lost Anthony Stewart, who was the club captain then, not involved at all today. And the Saints player who was down, I think, was it McMenamin?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
He's back on his feet. It's going to be an Aberdeen throw-in, wasn't even a foul. So just beyond the hour, and it's 1 apiece now in Paisley. 0-0 it remains at Dens. Here come Aberdeen. McGarry, low ball across, looking for Mijovski, cut out brilliantly by Richard Taylor. Well, if that equaliser doesn't waken Aberdeen up, nothing will.
Yeah, good defending there from Taylor, though, wasn't it? You know, getting his body, making sure that he's in front of Mijovski there. That was a dangerous cross coming in. He had to deal with it, and he dealt with it excellently.
Corner taken by Clarkson, right in front of the Aberdeen supporters, bending it in towards the penalty spot. Saints head away pretty comfortably. It drops to McGarry, and his effort down into the ground screws well wide, and it remains Saints 1, Dons 1 here in Paisley.
Yeah, the St Mirren crowd have got a massive lift from that. They were as exasperated as anyone else in the stadium at the scoreline, but St Mirren now back level, and they're really well pushed to try and get this winner.
Goal kick then for Saints. Zach Hemming will take right-footed. It's a long one. Across the halfway line it goes. Underneath it, Svubičić, his header out to the left, finds McGarry, whose header forward will go out. Remember, the prize for St Mirren is to go 2 points clear at the top of the Scottish Premiership.
Not bad.
That's the only incentive they require. Here is Tanzer, rolls it into the Aberdeen box for Alessandra. Low ball back out wide left. First time cross ball comes towards the back post. Jensen's there, still alive. Alessandra heads up into the air. Roos punches away. Jenny tries to clear it. McGrath with a cushion header gives it straight back to St Mirren, but Jensen clears. The breakthrough, the deadlock has been broken at Dens Park. Stephen Craigan.
Well, Liam, I have to say it's probably gone against the run of play. The second half, Hearts have been excellent. The substitutions have worked. They've had impetus, have been on the front foot. A goalless game for Dundee. That was a short ball in midfield played by Denham. He tried to play it back into Kai Rose. It was short. Xander Clark was out of his box because he had taken the free kick initially. He'd given it to Denham. He then played a short pass to Kai Rose. Xander Clark scrambling, trying to get back. Luke McCowan just gets it out of his feet. Left foot lifts it over the top of Xander Clark, and it lands in the back of the net. And Tony Docherty, as it stands, is potentially on the brink of getting his first 3 points as a Scottish Premiership manager. Dundee 1, Hearts 0.
There's still plenty of time to go. St Mirren tried to push Aberdeen again here. Cross comes in, flicked away by McGarry, and then lashed high over the bar by Ryan Strain, I think it was. And that will be a goal kick
Again, Aberdeen
1-1.
Aberdeen at 6s and 7s, dealing with cross balls. They really are. Strain, it was a difficult chance to take. He goes for the power and puts it high over the bar. But when the initial cross comes in, you always think that St Mirren are going to be in the end of it.
But it's even just dealing with the build-up play. Rubicic there has shown no composure whatsoever. He's just launched the ball out to, for the throw. And if he takes a little bit more time, a little bit more composure, gets it down, plays it up the park, and allows the defence to get up the park a little bit. But I think St Mirren have been excellent. It'll be brilliant performance. Stephen Robinson will be more than pleased with what he's seen so far. The only disappointing thing from his point of view is that they're not in the lead.
McMenamin's done well, flicks it out to the right-hand side for Ryan Strain, looks up, right football forward, blocked by the chest of Jensen. Shinnie out to the left, given away by McGarry. Here's Bacchus, given away by him as well though. McGarry finds Clarkson, long ball forward, looking for the ineffective Duke really, and then Duke, as they're coming together with Marcus Fraser over on the far side. John Beaton goes across to...
How's that not a booking?
Out. Yeah, I thought Duke was a standard yellow card there. He's avoided it.
Strange reading.
Free kick to St Mirren. And Duke was just frustrated there. And Willie's, he's not been in the game at all by any stretch of the imagination.
This season you're talking about. He hasn't started the season well at all. Duke, he's had very few opportunities. I suppose the Celtic game when he gets in behind. Carter Vickers is probably, you saw him at his best, but he's been largely anonymous in most of the games he's played, and he's got so much to offer as well in terms of his pace and his directness. But if you don't have control of the game and you're not, being able to thread balls through, good balls through for him, then he needs that service. If he doesn't get the service, then he's not going to produce anything.
25 minutes to play here, one apiece. 1-0 Dundee against Hearts. Cowan with the goal there. Kilty cancelling out the fortuitous Hayes goal from the spot. As Rubicic goes back to his keeper, and it was a dangerous one because McMenamin was lurking in behind the defence there. Here's a chance for Kilty down the left-hand side of the byline. It's the cross ball in, half away, and Jensen completes the clearance. Up towards Duke. St Mirren though win it back once more. They're utterly rampant in this game. As Strain goes back to Bacchus. To the right for McMenamin, he can't quite keep it in play. Saints 1, Aberdeen 1.
It's been a brilliant St Mirren performance. As much as we've talked about Aberdeen not being good, it's important to kind of reference the fact that St Mirren have been superb here today. Really, really good. Kept going at it. They went the goal behind, obviously really disappointing given how well they were playing in the game, but their reaction's been excellent in this second half.
Jensen's long ball, there's Mijovski, a little layoff to Shinnie. Shinnie driving into a little bit of space. Support arriving now, left and right, rolls it left in the box for Mijovski, who takes a touch, his cross, easily cut out by Marcus Fraser though. Breaks back kindly for Mijovski, low ball, there's Duke down by the byline, and then on the touchline it's McGrath who sweeps it back into the 6-yard area where it's clear. Devlin was trying to get in on the act as he did in Sweden on Thursday as it goes out for a throw into Aberdeen on the far side, level with the Saints penalty spot.
Brilliant defending from Tanser, following Devlin all the way in there to make the clearance.
Ball's played back to Angus MacDonald, looks up at the Saints box, lifts the ball in, but it's easy for Zach Hemming, who's going to launch this forward quickly, looking to try and get McMenamin involved, but it's cut out by MacDonald, who finds Jensen, who finds McGarry over on the far side, goes out for a St Mirren throw, and Cerdine Idsand's a reporter, and that's gone Aberdeen's way. I thought it was a St Mirren throw. Cerdine can bring us a bit more detail as to why that Greg Kilty goal was ruled out before he equalised from the penalty spot.
Yes, just in case any of our listeners are wondering why, and indeed the panel here, because we were a bit flummoxed as well. It was an offside decision against Olusanya in the build-up, so it wasn't a foul in the build-up, wasn't offside for Kilty himself. An earlier offside in the build-up against Toyosi Olusanya solves the mystery.
There you go. Aberdeen though were breached not too long after that, having been let off the hook. Angus MacDonald with a handball, Kilty smashing home the penalty. Here's Bacchus for Saints, it's one apiece. Dundee leading Hearts 1-0 at Dens. Still loads of time left for one of these teams to go on and win it, and once again it's looking like it would be St Mirren who would be picking up all 3 points. They fancy they can get in behind again against this dodgy Aberdeen defence. It's a handball by Jamie McGrath, surely there. The referee happy with it though. Saints have it, Strain to Kilty. Rolls it out to the right-hand side. And then to Strain, level with 18, his cross is blocked though. And then launched forward by Marcus Fraser with a left foot. Underneath it is McGarry. Aberdeen have a man down.
Yeah, I think when the cross came in, it just caught his head. So John Beaton right to stop the play. It's a head knock.
It's like Shinnie.
Graham Shinnie, yeah.
A couple of changes coming here for Saints. Mandron and Grieve. Be interesting to see who he takes off here in that case.
Very, very positive from Stephen Robinson, bringing on 2 strikers.
Yeah, does he leave Olasanya on?
Well, Olasanya's caused a lot of problems today. He really has. Getting in behind. He's actually, for a smaller guy, held the ball up well at times. He is coming off, is he? Yeah.
So Mandron will replace him. But there is another striker coming on in Alex Grieve, who scored that winning goal against Hibs at Easter Road on week 1 of the Premiership campaign.
Kilty.
He's had an excellent game as well, hasn't he? He's been outstanding.
Yeah, I would agree with that. He's had a really good game.
So first changes by Stephen Robinson. Willie, 20-odd minutes to go. What are you thinking?
I think you take the draw, don't you? You go back up the road and you have a huge sigh of relief that it hasn't been worse than that, the result. You know, maybe Barry Robson's thinking otherwise, but you know, I think if you take a look at the game, the way it's went, the good fortune that Aberdeen have got out of it, then I think that they've got to be more than happy with the draw. As far as
McDonald passed it back to his keeper with Grieve, almost able to pounce on it. I mean, I don't know if his head's swimming or what, but Angus McDonald's had a shocker here.
I'm not even thinking that he's going to pass it back to his goalkeeper in that situation, Liam. That's why I'm still talking. But he makes that decision, and that is kind of an example of the poor decision making that Aberdeen throughout the team have made this afternoon.
So Mirren throw-in to be taken by Gogic.
Look at that.
Short ball under no pressure. It's taken on by Strain. Gogic back to Strain, whips the cross in. It's deep to the back post. Grieve almost got there. Came through Devlin. Then away by McGrath on this near side. 1-1 in Paisley. Two St Mirren players collide, but the free kick's been given against Duke, who is yellow carded.
Looked like they both just collided with each other. I don't know whether Duke pushed one of them into the other.
Yeah, they pushed him.
Right.
He got away with the one at the other side of the park. He certainly deserved the yellow card there. You know, he's holding his head in disbelief. I can assure you it was a push, and the referee made the right decision. But you know, just getting back, simple things like St Mirren get a throw in over the far side, or Barry Robson's getting booked again. No, it's not Barry. I'm very sorry.
Steve Agnew's assistant.
Steve Agnew.
Yep.
Well, they're taking turns then. But it's a simple throw-in over there, and St Mirren get easy possession.
That's happened 3-4 times.
Time and time again.
Yeah. Long ball, Saints to the edge of the Aberdeen box, headed away by Shinnie. Bounces off McGarry, comes off Fraser. It's not a great ball, comes to McGarry again, but nicked off him by the ever-impressive Ryan Strain. McDonald's clearance is cut out by McMenamin, but it breaks to McGrath. Miovski with a little layoff, looking for Leighton Clarkson, another who's just not in this game at all. Here's Taylor. And then Shinnie's challenge wins it back for Aberdeen. Duke has it in the near side. He steps in field, looking for someone to make a bit of movement down the far side. Duke takes it right across the pitch and passes it eventually to Jensen. Flip ball towards McGarry, lovely touch away from Strain. Comes forward and rolls it to the overlapping Duke down the left. It's most involved in the game, Duke's been, and he's won the corner as well. 1-1 here in Paisley. Aberdeen corner. Dundee lead Hearts 1-0 in the other game he played today.
He's been largely anonymous as Duke this afternoon. That was probably his best involvement so far in the game.
It's no before time, Stephen.
He's looked a wee bit disinterested for me.
Definitely. He hasn't shown the same desire that we've seen from him last season.
17 to play. Leighton Clarkson with the corner, in it comes off a St Mirren head, and then the corner prevented somehow. A combination of Tanzer and Gogic put it out for an Aberdeen throw-in on this near side. Rubizic is going to leave this for Devlin, about level with the St Mirren 18, I think, or maybe a yard or two further forward than that. And it's Nicky Devlin who's over it. Of course, this is a new Aberdeen side. A lot of these players being integrated into the team can be challenging to get that going quickly. There's a poor throw in from Devlin, away by Tanser, but breaks to McGrath. To Devlin, goes back towards Jamie McGrath, who's had it nicked off him by McMenamin, who's now driving across halfway. Grieve desperately trying to get up to support this attack. McMenamin taking on Shinnie down this near side. Shinnie closing him down. McMenamin does get the cross in with the right as he switched sides. Cleared by Aberdeen. And then Shinnie picks it up, looking for Mijovski. Touch on to Taylor, claims came off the hand. Referee Beaton says it came off the chest. As Taylor plays on, you got to play to the whistle. As Taylor plays it out to Tanser, cut out by Clarkson. Roos prevents the corner. Saints 1, Aberdeen 1, 16 left.
I think it was a good guess by the referee there. I don't see how he could possibly see that. There was bodies in front of him. He hadn't a clear view of it. But anyway, he's given it. No harm done. And it's a case, I think, Aberdeen maybe just hanging on and hoping that they can get something in the break. But a very, very good performance so far from St Mirren. You can understand why they're sitting here. They're looking to go top of the table, and if they do get that goal that would take them up there, then it would be thoroughly deserved.
Duke fouled by Tanser though, down below us. Free kick Aberdeen, level with the edge of the centre circle in the Saints half. Leighton Clarkson over it about 5 or 6 yards from this near side touchline.
He can deliver.
He can. He's seen precious little of the ball this afternoon though. The Aberdeen number 10. He takes the free kick with the right foot, hanging it to the 18-yard line, headed away by Mandron. Breaks back to Clarkson, angles the ball in, looking for Jensen, the back end of the box, but it's a good header away there by McMenamin. Another who's had an excellent game. It'll be difficult picking a man of the match for St Mirren today. Here's Mandron stretching his legs across halfway, down the right-hand side. Grieve trying desperately to stay onside, he's found him. Grieve on the right foot, scores! So simple, but so effective for St Mirren as they slice Aberdeen open. And Alex Grieve, who got the winner on match day 1 at Easter Road, smashes it past Kelleroos. The comeback is well and truly complete now. St Mirren 2, Aberdeen 1. Are the buddies going to the top of the division?
Well, it all looked so incredibly easy from a St Mirren point of view. Mandron driving with it, one simple pass plays Alex Grieve clean through, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, makes no mistake with the finish, low and hard across Kelleroos, and you have to say, thoroughly deserved.
Yeah, but without doubt, but the room that Mandron got there to just gallop forward, what is he, he's gone 60, 70 yards perhaps, and the pass through, I think that it's Leighton Clarkson. If he's not back there, I think Grieve's offside. But at the same time, Clarkson's back there playing him offside, and what a strike as well. Magnificent strike, you know, whizzing by.
You've got to give Stephen Robinson massive credit because he makes a substitution. He wants to go and win the match. He brings on Grieve and Mandron, and they combine to get the goal that puts St Mirren in front.
It's a great finish by Grieve, but my goodness, that was so easy for St Mirren.
Too easy. See, at this stage of the game, and for last spells you haven't been in the game, there's got to be some sense applied. If Aberdeen get away with a draw today, it's a great result because they haven't taken part in the game. To throw as many players as they threw forward there, to leave that amount of space between their strikers and their back lot, and then it's actually Leighton Clarkson that's the last man trying to get back there too. It's just, you know, it's naive football.
Jubicic's in trouble down that far side of St Mirren. Look for another goal here. There will be an Aberdeen throw-in eventually. They've simply wanted it more. The attitude's been spot on. Everything from a St Mirren point of view has been spot on today.
Yeah, and they've played good football with it. I mean, I said before the game that opposition teams do not want to come here to Paisley to play St Mirren, and St Mirren have been by far and away the better side. Aberdeen have found it difficult, and you've got to just give all the plaudits to this St Mirren side.
Well, Aberdeen have a Europa League playoff second leg to come on Thursday. If they can get through that tie, by the way, Duke came off, replaced by Shaden Morris in the wake of the goal. If they can win that, they're into a Europa League, and they're going to have a top seed. The likes of Liverpool, Bayer Leverkusen are in there, West Ham, the Conference League champions. You know, I mean, that is going to be a really challenging competition to be in if Aberdeen do eventually go into the Europa League. The Conference League will be challenging as well. But if this is the kind of performance they're putting in after one European match this season, then that's got to be a serious worry for the Dons fans who are watching this. As good as St Mirren have been today, and they have been, and Aberdeen have been as poor as St Mirren have been good.
Yeah, I can't remember watching as poor an Aberdeen performance, to be honest with you, Liam.
McGrath taken down by Grieve, free kick given for Aberdeen, about level with the St Mirren 18 on this near side. So 2-1 to St Mirren. As it stands, they will be 2 points clear at the top of the Premiership tonight. And they are 11 minutes plus stoppages away from that. Clarkson will take the free kick, right-footed. It's a yard or two from this near side touchline. It's a poor delivery, and it's away by Strain, and out for a throw-in down by the corner flag on this near side.
Yeah, that was a poor one. I expect much better from Leighton Clarkson in that situation. That's an opportunity to put St Mirren under pressure, and it was just wasted.
Throwing in Nicky Devlin. Long ball coming into the box. St Mirren want to make a change. In fact, they're going to make the change now by the looks of things. And Boyd Muntz, who saw more of the ball, I think it's fair to say, in the first half than he has in the second. He's going to be replaced by James Bolton, Tomo.
Yeah, I mean, Muntz has worked incredibly hard. I think Bolton's more of a centre half. I don't know how they're going to... Maybe Gogic will come in to anchor the midfield. Bolton will go in where Gogic has been at centre half. Just a more defensive-minded player coming onto the pitch. Try and see out these last 10 minutes.
On comes Bolton, straight into the box to defend a possible long throw from Nicky Devlin here down on this near side. And Aberdeen try and attack the goal to our right. Into the box it comes, away by Gogic. McGrath pinches it back, darts into the box. Little chip is off a St Mirren defender. It breaks to Grieve, but it's pinched back by Devlin. Alex Grieve's goal at Easter Road on match day 1 was also from a counter-attack. St Mirren have got that in the locker.
Yeah, they do. Grieve's, you know, his goal return's been decent for St Mirren. He doesn't get a lot of game time, doesn't start a lot of games, but St Mirren have good options in forward areas. But whenever he comes on, he always has an impact.
Zic down the line, cut out by Taylor. He's pulled something there. His left leg, a little feel of the hamstring as that goes out for a Dons throw-in. Devlin to take. Saints 2, Aberdeen 1 here. Dundee leading Hearts 1-0 as well. 9 minutes left here in Paisley. Zic to Devlin, who gives it straight to Gogic, who's dancing away from 2 challenges, keeping it in play as well. Against Clarkson, steps in field. Gogic with the angled ball
pass.
straight to Jensen, but his header was straight to Strain. Looking for the break of the ball, and then it's cleared over there by Angus MacDonald.
Yeah, Gogic just went for the kind of more difficult of passes. He had a square pass into the midfield that would have kept the counter-attack going.
He carried away, didn't he?
He did, because it was his run. He was getting excited. He thought he had the 70-yard diagonal in the locker. It wasn't there.
He does a good job for St Mirren as well, doesn't he?
He does,
Gogic.
and this is where he's good as well, because they've obviously brought on, you know, Bolton at centre half, and Gogic can go into the middle of the pitch. He'll sometimes play games as a midfielder for St Mirren, but it's good to have that versatility, and he gives you that protection in front of the defenders.
He was always the midfield player, wasn't he, at Hamilton? Yeah. He was at Hibs as well. Came here on loan, but he's now primarily playing at centre back, and that's where he plays for his country too. Shinnie was down under the challenge at Bacchus. Taylor sliding in on Morris. Strain, and then Clarkson gets there and lofts it forward. Miovski will chase after it as the header away by St Mirren. Shinnie keeps it alive for Aberdeen. St Mirren claim high boot. As McGarry plays it short to Clarkson. And back to McGarry. Every single Aberdeen player, when they've been on the ball today, looks panic-stricken.
Well, it's because also
McGarry can't keep it in play. It's out for a Saints throw.
The pressure that St Mirren are putting them under when they're on the ball is incredible. The work rate from this St Mirren team's been phenomenal. So they've no time on the ball. But you'd expect players like Clarkson and McGrath to be able to deal with that.
No, I agreed that they've been put under pressure, but you know, their touch hasn't been there either, Stephen. Whenever they've had the opportunity, you know, a lot of heavy touches from the players in red this afternoon. You expect better from them, particularly like Clarkson and Shinnie. Even Polvara in the first half, not particularly great.
McGrath for Aberdeen on this near side and closed down by Gogic. Back to Devlin, forward to Morris. Morris in field to Shinnie. Shinnie for Devlin, forward to Clarkson, to Morris on the near side. Aberdeen passing the ball about more than they have in the whole match, but they can't get up the pitch. Clarkson struggling to keep it in play, just about managed to do it. Morris back to Devlin, low ball forward to Shinnie. Shinnie on the turn, looking for a free kick and not getting it. Here comes Marcus Fraser for Saints into the centre circle. St Mirren 6 minutes just over that of the 90 left. Here they come with Ryan Strain down the right-hand side. And then back to Bacchus. He's quietly gone about his business today. He and Strain were heavily involved in the move that led to the Saints penalty that led to the equaliser. They've had the ball in the net 4 times today, St Mirren. Only 2 have counted. Shinnie wins the throw-in on the far side. Midway inside his own half. He's going to leave it to Jensen. A difficult debut for the Finn, who's looked as shaky as everyone else in red today. Remember Dundee leading Hearts by a 0-0 at Dens Park. The other game being played this afternoon in the Premiership. Here's Morris. It's away from Tanzer. Moving forward. He overcooked that, but he's found McGrath on the right-hand side of the Saints box. And he slips as he tries to cross. Allows Taylor in to clear. Now Gogic has it. Gogic driving away from McGrath. Brilliant from Alex Gogic. Then through the legs of Rubic. It's ridiculous.
He's got to release the pass. He's got to.
Clarkson looking for Morris and not finding it.
He's got it.
Go behind the goal kick.
He's done the hard bit, and then again he's just got a wee bit excited and should have played it infield.
And John Beaton just decided that he's not going to give any fouls.
Yeah.
He's had a period there of about 10 minutes or so where challenges have been going on. A lot of them, not 100% certain that they're free kicks, but there must be at least a few of them that deserve the whistle to go. But nah, he's just decided, just let's get on with this game.
And St Mirren in the as it stands table, sitting proudly at the top of the Premiership by 2 points, clear of Celtic and Motherwell. Aberdeen would be joint second bottom with St Johnstone, and only Hibs behind them after 3 matches. And it could be important come the end of the season. St Mirren would be 8 clear of Aberdeen after just 3 games. And that in itself is a potentially huge gap at this point in the campaign. Ryan Flynn, the veteran, comes on to replace Conor McMenamin. But even just putting 8 points between the 2 clubs is
it's a lot to catch up, Liam.
Moment, isn't it?
It's a lot to catch up. I mean, it's still very early, as we said. You'd expect Aberdeen to get better. If they don't get better, then it's going to be a long old season for Willie.
Considering the money they've spent on this squad. I mean, they're spending big transfer fees right now.
You say that with a bit of joy in your voice, Stephen. It's going to be a long season for me.
I said if they don't improve, William. Flynn coming on again just to kind of try and see out this game. Not long left now. He'll use his experience in the middle of the pitch to just try and waste down the time.
Yeah, 3.5 of the 90 left.
You know, when you add in the European games as well, the strain that's going to be put on this Aberdeen side.
I mean, I would suggest, Willie, you would be very concerned with what you've seen here today.
Yeah,
you consider the number of games they're going to have.
Yeah, it's been poor today. They haven't performed at all to a level that's acceptable. You know, it looked as though they were going to get away with it. The good fortune was going for them, but you know, St Mirren put in an excellent 90 minutes or so and look as though they're going to take all 3 points.
7,500 Tomo inside
yeah, it's great to see. It's great to see the fans turning out. Obviously Aberdeen bringing a great support as well, but it really is a good time to be a
Rubic all over the place, and he's going to be booked for a challenge in man-drawn. I think the referee can let man-drawn continue there.
Oh, why is he blowing his whistle there?
I have no idea, but it helps St Mirren because they can just waste a bit of time down in this corner now with this free kick. However, they were kind of away. The advantage would have seen St Mirren man-drawn and driving towards the byline. Yes. Plenty of bodies in there.
A big opportunity to finish it completely, I would suggest.
Yeah.
Aberdeen staring at their second defeat in 3 matches at the start of this season. They lost to Celtic last time out in the uninspiring draw at Amon Vale in week 1. As Ryan Strain looks to take this free kick, right-footed towards the back post. It's beaten everyone, goal kick. 88 minutes on the clock. Barry Robson wanting more from his players down there. I'm not sure they're listening to him today. It's going to be a goal kick for the Dons. You have 2 minutes plus stoppages to try and salvage something from this afternoon, which has been pretty miserable for them. Those supporters who've made the long journey down here this Sunday afternoon have been shortchanged big time by their team. The Mirren fans loving life right now. Rubičić, dreadful touch. And then he's just fouled.
He's dived.
He fouled Ryan Flynn. He says he's dived.
Yeah,
so anyway, it's out for a throw-in.
Yeah, but before that, I mean, what's he doing?
Rubičić? I don't know. What was he doing when he was trying to deal with Mandarin, going down the right back area there? Just no composure whatsoever.
Long ball forward, bouncing. McDonald left it for a split second. Grieve didn't, and that kind of, although it's gone out of play, that kind of sums up the two teams in microcosm there. McDonald just waited, the ball bounced. Grieve probably knew he wasn't getting there, but he still charged it down anyway, just in case. Throw in Aberdeen, deep inside their own half. St Mirren leading. We're in the final minute of the 90 here.
Foul throw.
Rubičić, yeah, foul throw.
He's having a shocker, this guy.
Was it Livingston game he took off as well? He decided that he was just going to forget about the ball and just try to take players out, and he gets substituted. He kind of has these moments where he just kind of loses all composure that he's got, although he hasn't shown too much composure this afternoon, but it's all seemed to be going totally out the window now.
I mean, he's a young man. He's not a young star. He's a young man. He's 23. 8 minutes, by the way, have been added. What? Well, there's been quite a lot going on, to be fair. Lots of subs, the VAR checks, as the throw-in comes into the box. And Aberdeen let it bounce a couple of times, and there's an opportunity for Mandron, just couldn't quite dig it out. And Shinnie rolls it away. Clarkson gives chase, but look again, there's a St Mirren player on him. And that's gone out off Clarkson for a St Mirren throw-in. They look every way the league leaders, Tomo, this St Mirren side.
Yeah, I'm not going to comment on that until the final whistle goes in 8 minutes' time.
Fair enough. As the throw-in's taken to Mandron down by the corner flag, challenged by Jensen, and he wins the corner off McGarry. Oh, goal kick's been given. I thought it was a corner.
Strange decision, that one.
It's right in front of the linesman Ross Nelson over on that far side. Goal kick to Aberdeen, taken by Roos, short to Rubičić, then back to the keeper. Aberdeen knocking the ball about deep inside their own half when they need the ball up the other end of the pitch towards Miovski on the turn. Can't find his teammates, and Mirren win it back again. And here they try forward with Mandron to Bacchus. Overhit.
Poor pass.
And out it goes for the goal kick.
Again, though, you know, Aberdeen giving the ball away, gifting possession to St Mirren. I mean, it's all too easy for St Mirren, really. You're not having to work to get the ball back. They're just giving you the ball back.
No, individually very poor, and you know the teamwork has been non-existent as well. You know, lacking composure throughout, and lacking, you know, decent touch of the ball, just holding it up. Miovski just has to hold that up in that occasion, and it's another really heavy touch.
St Mirren look like a team. Aberdeen look like a bunch of individuals who've only just been introduced, and that's what Stephen Robinson's achieved here at St Mirren to some real effect as well. I'm not sure the Saints fans would have been too happy when Stephen Craigan mentioned Stephen Robinson for the Hibs job earlier, but you can see why he would be courted by other clubs. 2-1 to St Mirren, 1-0 to Dundee. Here, last season's third and fourth sides, as it stands, both being beaten here. As it goes out for a throw into Saints on this near side, and Taylor in no hurry to take as he lets out a wry smile at Barry Robson, who's not happy with the time he's taking. 2.5 of the 8 that have been added have been played. Throw in down the line, flicked on by Mandron. McGrath gets something onto it. Devlin with a header, can't find Shinnie. Bacchus wins it. Grieve chases it down towards the corner flag. He looks happy just to hold it up down there. There's still 5 minutes to play, and he's won the throw off Rubičić.
you don't have to do anything else, do you, really?
No.
You've got the upper hand. Grieve runs in behind again. He's right on the corner flag. Just hold it in there. Try to get another throw in. And you know, they're going to take the long throw in. I think you would be tempted just to keep it out into the corner.
I would say it'd be advisable to just keep it in the corner.
Yeah, as much as Aberdeen don't look like scoring, St Mirren won't want to offer them any encouragement. Maybe Gogic does throw it into the box. Devlin half away, and then eventually swept clear by Clarkson. The header forward by Fraser. It's going to come back towards Miovski. Here goes to the ground, no free kick. Gogic is there to knock it back to his keeper. Miovski still asking the question. Barry Robson not happy. As Zach Hemming clears. Long ball. Rubidzic with a header. McDonald's behind him. He clears under pressure from Grieve. Backus with a header this time. Devlin has it on this near side. Flicked on with a long ball by Miovski towards Morris. Gogic is there, bouncing ball. Falls to Taylor, who goes down. No free kick, Saints play on. Miovski's tackle on this near side on Flynn, and it's out for a St Mirren throw. 2-1 they lead, and they edge ever closer to top spot.
A lot of aggression out there from St Mirren. A lot of good play, a lot of aggression, a lot of belief.
Yeah,
I would suggest that even although things looked as though they were going against them, at certain points in this game, the belief was still there that they could turn it round, and they have certainly done that.
Ball hoisted forward by Aberdeen. Gogic's underneath it. Grieve gets the header, but Mandron couldn't control, and it's now with McDonald, who rolls it to the left-hand side for Jensen. Well, there's time, there's hope for Aberdeen. They've got 3.5 minutes. 2-1 down. Jensen's ball finds Clarkson. He can't control it, though. It's been that kind of day for them. Headed away by Taylor. Rubidzic hoofs it with the right foot out towards Jensen on the far side. He wins the header. McGarry going after it on the far side, and he just passes it straight out the pitch.
Yeah, kind of sums up Aberdeen's day, that. Really poor, and you know, St Mirren, as much as they've been brilliant, Aberdeen, I said it earlier on, this performance level will not be accepted by the supporters or their manager.
This is as bad, if not worse, than anything that was served up under Jim Goodwin and Stephen Glass. Put it that way.
Yeah.
So McDonald knocks it forward, looking for Miovski, headed away by Bolton. 2.5 minutes left. It is Devlin getting it from McGrath on the near side. Aberdeen looking for an equaliser, which would be completely unjust on St Mirren. It's Morris, he's got the cross ball in. Miovski attacks it. Saints get it away. McGarry can't control. Left-hand side of the penalty area. He's onto the ball for Clarkson. Blocked by Gogic. The Aberdeen fans claim that was by a hand. McDonald gives chase. Anyway. Over on the left-hand side of the area, he rolls it back to Jensen. And he goes back to his keeper. He's being hounded by Keanu Backus. Back with Roos. 2 minutes left. St Mirren 2, Aberdeen 1. It's all over at Dens. Dundee have beaten Hearts 1-0. Long ball for Aberdeen, headed away by Taylor. There's Rubidzic. Sliding in Grieve. That just epitomises everything that St Mirren are all about.
The work rate's incredible. It really is. And it's been notably...
They're checking the handball, by the way.
Oh, I thought it was outside the box.
It was definitely sliding, you know, outside the box.
It was a great block.
Contact, it was, yeah. I mean, he's thrown his body at it, whether it's at the arm or not. It was Gogic, wasn't it? That was kind of attracting it down.
Yeah, Tom reckon it was maybe just outside the box.
I thought it was, yeah, just from first viewing. Again, no monitors here, so we don't have the luxury of a replay, but we shall see. Gogic is saying it kind of hit him high up on his chest, the shoulder, rather than the arm. Yeah, yeah, of course it would.
Is he going to... I'll hit my arm, ref. Sorry, I have to admit it.
There's been a few VAR checks this afternoon here in Paisley. Full time, Dundee 1, Hearts 0. St Mirren
leading 2-1. For Dundee, that.
Yeah, first win of the season in the league.
Difficult, you see. I've got a little replay of it here, but difficult. There's bodies in front. It's blasted at him. He goes low to ground, but from, you know, the
hold on. I think he's coming over to have a look at it.
Have a look at it.
Well, John Beaton wants to have a look at it himself. At Aberdeen about to get out of jail here.
Surely not. I mean, surely not.
John Beaton comes over to the main stand where the monitor is, right in front of the St Mirren supporters. Is he about to award Aberdeen a penalty? Bojan Miovski standing on the penalty spot. waiting in anticipation. There's been plenty of drama in this game when it comes to the VAR. A few of the players are trying to get a look over John Beaton's shoulder. He's seen enough, the referee, I think. Oh, he's having one last look. Still he looks. He's still talking to Ewan Anderson, the VAR for this game. Big moment coming in here. Now he's back on the pitch. I think he's going to give it. I think he's going to give it. He has.
Oh my God.
Aberdeen penalty.
Wow.
Wow, it's incredible. Well, it hasn't been taken yet, but if this goes in, Stephen Robinson will be struggling to come up with answers, because his team's been outstanding. But Aberdeen have a penalty, and we're in time added on top of the added time
So
here.
it clearly was in the box then as well.
Well, there's going to be a bit of a delay here, a bit of gamesmanship, I would suggest. The Mirren players doing their laces up right in front of the penalty spot.
Yeah.
Gogic still saying it didn't happen in the arm.
Well, Bojan Mijovski has the ball in his hand. Aberdeen have actually got a really good penalty record going back over the last few years. They've only missed 2 of their last 43 penalties. Bojan Mijovski with a chance right in front of the Aberdeen supporters to salvage an unlikely point, left-footed, and he does! Right down the middle! And somehow, from somewhere, Aberdeen are going to take a point from Paisley. The St Mirren players crestfallen, little wonder. St Mirren 2, Aberdeen 2.
Yeah, he just drilled it right down the middle, isn't he? I don't know what the goalkeeper, Hemming, is out. He's all over the place speaking to
He's maybe trying to save his off his line. Well, if he was, it should be getting checked.
Anyway, ended up in the back of the net, and you know, if it finishes with a point for Aberdeen, I think they can, you know, admit, and I'm sure that Barry Robson. A double touch.
Wow, well, here we go.
What's double touch?
He slipped.
That's the only way you could do that, surely.
Surely
He did
not.
slip. He did
Surely not.
Yeah, he did slip.
Oh my word.
We've had it all this afternoon.
This will be a first for me, William. I have never seen the old double touch.
No. He does slip as he goes to take it.
Does he get a retake or is it done?
Can't see it from this angle. Too many bodies in front. I've got a little monitor here. But from the angle that I'm seeing, it's difficult to tell. But
Thanks for that, Willie. That was brilliant. Thank you. Thank you, Willie.
I'm not very good at a VAR.
I'm saying we don't have monitors here. Willie's.
Yeah, goal's been given.
Oh, has it?
So Mijovski can have a second go at celebrating. We're going to have a split in BBC Radio Scotland shortly. Stay with us. When we do that, FM and medium wave will split. Mijovski celebrates. I don't know why he's felt the need to go over to the St Mirren fans on the far side. In the opposite stand, where he has done, things are being thrown at him as well. A dramatic conclusion to the game here. St Mirren 2, Aberdeen 2, confirmed. Gogic has been booked, or was it Hemming?
No, it was Hemming. I mean, he's furious because he was convinced it was a double touch. I mean, I don't know why John Beaton doesn't come to the monitor to look at it himself and make his own mind up. He's taking the advice of Ewan Anderson. But anyway, how depressing.
Well, the St Mirren fans, like Tomo, all feeling a little bit downhearted here. Kick-off, I'm not sure what will be left here because we've officially played 12 minutes. 12 minutes has been added. I think there was about a minute left when the penalty was awarded. The ball breaks back to Kelarus, who holds on. Your requests coming up with Gary Ennis shortly after the news. We are going to be late to that because of the late conclusion to the game here in Paisley. So if that's what you're waiting for on BBC Radio Scotland on FM, this game just about finished. And then we will split the frequencies. As Clarkson knocks it forward, looking for McGrath, cut out by Gogic and out of play. It goes for a throw into Aberdeen on this near side. 2 apiece. I mean, Saints are absolutely stunned. And the Aberdeen supporters stunned as well, but they were left celebrating late drama here. Mijovski's penalty after the handball by Gogic as Devlin bowls it forward and out for a throw-in. Is there still time for one last chance? I wonder. Nicky Devlin's got a throw-in on this near side. And it's about level with the edge of the D of the St Mirren box. Devlin takes, looking for Mijovski into the box. They claim another handball. They claim again for handball in the box. St Mirren get it away and out for an Aberdeen throw-in on the near side. They're going to check it, yeah.
I'm just going home.
That would end a sensational day if that's a second penalty.
No, it's absolutely incredible. Ewan Anderson will be looking at the replay of that just now. Definitely came off the St Mirren defender, the upper part of him.
I think it was Bolton, wasn't it?
Game on, so that one isn't a penalty. And this game surely is going to peter out in a draw now. Devlin with the throw-in down this near side towards Morris, comes off Tanzer. Long ball by Ryan Flynn. Mandron's chasing. McDonald's the covering defender for Aberdeen. Mandron has it left-hand side of the Aberdeen box. On the left foot, looking for space to cross. It's down by the corner flag. Breaks off Ljubičić and out for a throw-in. How much longer is this game going on for? Gogic is going to take the throw-in, level with the Aberdeen 6-yard line. There's still time for St Mirren. We have played 14 minutes of stoppage time now. Gogic with a long throw into the box. McGrath heads it away, only as far as Fraser, and the referee blows for full time. Absolutely incredible scenes here. It ends in a draw, point apiece. But here it's 4 minutes past 5. You've got a choice of listening on BBC Radio Scotland. You can stay with us for the reaction from the two matches this afternoon on BBC Radio Scotland. Extra, digital and sounds for Sports Sound then, and on FM we'll get you a news update followed by your requests with Gary Innes. But clearly
on
here
digital radio
FM
on